Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to CappingTV's coverage of the qualifiers for Oceania for the Dreamhack Masters in Malmö. My name is Justin aka Cyberwaste, and I am joined by a very, very Canadian person, and his name is
hello
Graham
there.
Cross. How do you do?
Oh, I'm not too bad there, eh? I'm ready for some grade A Counter Strike coming down the tube here, and I think that's just gonna be a jolly old time. But on a more
Please
serious
stop
note, where
that.
I'm not dropping a memed up Canadian accent. Come on, you call me a very Canadian co-caster. I feel like I have to deliver a little bit. Because
I was
if I don't
expecting
do
it.
that, what's that about?
That's fair, but I didn't expect you to land on that thick. That was completely unexpected.
Well, funny that you say that was unexpected.
Oh yes, good tie-in.
Because speaking of unexpected, genuines in this game against Grayhound. And when I was looking at brackets and all the shenanigans that we were going to be dealing with tonight, I looked at this and never in a million years was I going to pencil genuine into this game. I'm sorry. I fully and completely had order here. So that's an upset. And the thing is if Genuine's firing on hot enough cylinders that they can just drop an upset on on order, who's to say that they can't come in here and drop an upset on Grayhound, Mr. Lutz?
That is true. I'd actually penciled Genuine to be at the very least be a threat, but perhaps even a 3-map set with tight games. But no, it was a win outright against Order, and either way, no matter where Genuine goes from here, it's still a big feather in their cap, and you really have to tip your cap to them, especially the likes of Jinx, Skull Hunter, and Epoch Dud. In my opinion, they're the standouts to me in this Genuine squad. But the likes of Grayhound, they're going to be just as big of a test, if not bigger, because not only are the members of Grayhound freshly back from their trip in Berlin and their run around at the major, but they have a new member in their ranks, as was publicly announced by Grayhound prior to Berlin. Urkast would be making his final ride for the team in Germany, and that is now concluded. And their new man, signed as of today, as of recording, Inns has come in to take his place, and I would dare say that that is the strongest pickup you could have asked for to replace a player like Urkast.
Yeah, I'm not going to swear because people don't like it when I do that, and I don't like to do it. But that was an effing great move. I sat down as soon as they told me, as soon as we heard that Urkast was as good as gone, I sat down and started thinking, okay, let's go through all the scenarios. They're not going to get someone from Renegades. What's the best option that they have on the market? And I did that old whiteboard scene where you write down a bunch of names and go through one of those beautiful minds, incredible mathed out pictures. And I just wound up circling no matter what calculation I did, no matter what arrow that pointed, it all pointed back to Inns as the best option. And I think that's the case. I really do. So I'm excited and curious to see how he's going to turn out in this lineup. And we don't have long to find out because we are now live into Pistol Round on map number 1. This was Genuine's pick. And understandably, they just smashed, and I mean smashed, Order on it 16-6.
And Greyhound also smashed their previous opponents of Jade 16-1 on Inferno. So just basically the lesser of two evils in terms of that. But Genuine will be your attackers, your defenders will be Greyhound, and Malta. Jinx definitely saw the silencer there and told Malta to sit down. And there's the trade back from Dexter in theater. And Sicko getting yet another one. So Genuine being met with just as much aggression as they're dishing out.
Oh, and Dexter and Dick Stacy come out for that nice kill down onto APOC. They're trying to bust out here, but it's just Maker right now into the 1v3, or finds the kill onto Sicko. That's all he's going to get. Problem is so much aggression across the board from Grayhound, it just was not able to be dealt with by Genuine. You had Malta down mid, that was the opening pick, sure. But there was a two-man push down Banana and another player in Dexter pushed through Apps. And at some point, they just got too much pressure from too many different fronts and wound up just crumbling away as some nice USB headshots came in.
Yeah, you gotta love it. And looking at the setup now, it's all submachine guns. And on the CT side, you'll be wanting that money. And they're definitely looking to stack up that coin because the CT side, it is a tradition, especially apparent now. It's extremely expensive on the CT side compared to the Ts. So you're wanting to stabilize as early as possible. And I want to draw attention.
Oh, these nades.
Yep, gotta love the bombing run.
And Dexter's just lining them up, drops down a few. He's got teammates there with him. Sicko gets a pair, Dexter gets a care. And a care. Malta finds one as well. Easy round for Grayhound. One thing worth noting is that they do still have full SMGs, and it looks like, yeah, they're going to drop over to Dexter. He's going to be the only rifle. So I'm curious to see where they tend to go. Inns, for the last 2 rounds, has taken a lot of aggressive banana control with his teammate there. That's Dick Stacy. So we'll see if that continues to be a trend for them here. They're going to fall off. They smoked off early. They don't want to really contest that. They know it is 4 AKs in a creek. Well, I'll assume that it's 5 rifles of some form. So we'll see as they do look set to burst around this corner top mid. Dexter spotted it off. Molly goes down. Let's see if they overlook Sicko in this spot. He's just sitting in the cubby. That's going to be so pivotal. Flashbang good. Oh, he peeks out though a bit early. Leave it premature. He's going to drop the smoke down. He's getting spammed out. They're trying to do anything they can to free their man. And Sicko does somehow escape. That nade is going to be quite... Never mind. Does 2 damage to Jinx. Looked like it was going to be a lot more meaty than that. Still, these players are all just locked down top mid.
Yeah, it had a lot of potential to be a lot more meaty than that. I thought it would have gotten a lot more as opposed to that little tickle on the Jinx. But, well, I guess nades in CSGO, they continue to be one of the many mysteries of the video game universe. And Dexter's tagged up quite heavily, and he's the rifle carrier. So they'll definitely be wanting to try and protect him, but it looks like Genuine are putting the foot on the gas and have run Dexter over. Skull Hunter and the APOC will do the deed there. Sicko stuck at his sight. Skull Hunter will lay him down. And Malta does get a trade with the MP5. Has actually gotten himself 2 and has traded for the Krieg. That is the highly valuable rifle. And Dick Stacy getting the big frag on the strat. So Genuine's days are numbered, but if they play their cards right, they could definitely hang on.
Yeah, and Malta's finding the next kill. Dick Stacy peeks out, finds the last one, closes it down, but he got a spray down with the MP9 through a smoke. Heard the player try and duck through arches after he got a little bit of a tag in. And just kind of committed to it, hoped he'd find something. Got the kill, grabbed the rifle, finds one more. And the bonus round pays off for Grayhound.
Yes, indeed. And looking at the money for Genuine, it's in a rough trot. You can see the Galil that's been put on the maker. Actually, it's making the rounds throughout the Genuine lineup. And only power pistols and the Galil on stat. And only 4 members armored up and Maker with the helmet. Maker having a helmet against the M4s will be a big deal. But against the AK and the Krieg, maybe not so much. And definitely not against the AWP because, well, the big gun makes a big noise and has big damage to follow up with that. That nade! Ouch! That's gonna really hurt this waterfall out apartments, and Malta will set him up and knock him down as the patented Lemmings Stratton. Maker's trying to turn the tide. Maybe able to get a third? No, Inns will set that one down. And Malta, big 4K for him. Just floating around pit.
Yeah, the excellence execution there as they come out, just finding all the kills, not even getting really scratched up at all. Went down to 77 in that round. That's 22 damage, or 23 damage, I should say, for the guy sitting in pit where everyone's coming at him. can't really ask for much more as Grayhound are cruising early on here. They are the heavy favorites, I would say, in this matchup. See if they can make it work out. Smoke, Grayhound nicely smoked Skull Hunter off for him. He was standing in a molly burning, but that's not so nice. Eats the nade, down to 47. He hasn't even seen a single player. Flashbang's gonna come over. Oh, Inns, he gets to flick over, finds that kill, but he's down to 7 HP. He's gonna fall away. He's got Dick Stacy trying to back him up in the nade. It drops him down to 1. Somehow Inns is still alive in this round.
It's still a threat too when you consider that, because I'm almost certain that Genuine were pretty much banking on Inns going down to the utility usage up Nana, but he's not gone down, and that's going to be a rough set of circumstances, and it's made it worse with Maker going down. But Dick Stacy does end up falling, so perhaps a little bit of a consolation prize. But now with the time dwindling and the Genuine attacker's hand being forced by basically the clock and their current position, will Inns and Co be able to deal with this oncoming onslaught?
Sicko, he's going to be picked off. Flashed out. Stats got another kill. That was Inns. That was the low HP player. So they've cracked this bomb site wide open and just leaves Malta and Dexter in a 2-on-3 trying to come back through. The fact is, Apoc's got the AWP now. That's something they don't really have a lot to kind of retch away. They've got 2 flashbangs, smoke. There's at least kits on both players. Gives them a chance to do this. They are going to smoke off Banana. That's Stat sitting in that cubby there, so he's got to decide whether he's going to go through it or not. They find the kill onto Jinx. They're aware where Apoc is, but Stat just walks through the smoke, finds both of them. Because unfortunately, when it's not a Molotov, you can just cruise on through. The Opera did enough in the back corner to keep the attention, and that'll be Genuine grabbing round numero uno for them.
And a pretty strong run at that. Strong post plants and really well navigated through the attack there of Grayhound. So Genuine have broken the goose egg, and early on, Graham, I'd say that this has the potential to be extremely competitive, especially with Skull Hunter just walking up to Sicko with no fear, and with his favorite weapon in hand to boot has been put down. And Greyhound's money, just, I want to draw attention to it. It's not looking good. So if Greyhound goes down, Genuine could easily get back into this.
There's windows of opportunity all the way across the map. And the fact that B is completely open is the best opportunity. And I think because there's been so much utility used early in these rounds in Banana, and fairly frequently through Banana, the fact that there hasn't been anything really this round might just be the signal. And in fact it is. Everyone is coming over from Genuine. They've got an idea that there's not a lot here. And the fact is they're finding absolutely nothing in the site. Mom will be able to go down 4 on 5. Do Greyhound even try and retake this? Their money's awful. No, they're just going to full save here. 4 men trying to stay alive. So the only kill in the round was Sicko. Poor guy.
Poor dude. But the AWP will be priority number 1 for Inns to hang on to. If he gets any team members on their way out, fantastic. But the priority number 1, like you said, is to hang on to everything, because look at what they've got. They've got armor, they've got little bits of nades, they've got a few flashes and an incendiary, but the weaponry is worth so much. Like, I think it's 47.50 still for the AWP, and you definitely want to hang on to that, as well as the other M4s. It doesn't look like Genuine are in any mood to engage either, because they know that they're not out of the woods in terms of economic freedom yet. So, the gap is now 2, 6 rounds have gone, and Greyhound do have the upper hand, but they're already getting some stiff competition.
This is a super important round. Money is not great for Genuine. Win or lose, they'll still buy next round. But a round win here for Greyhound would do a very good job of crippling the economy. On the other side, Greyhound, they got nothing. There's no money in the bank. Inns is the richest man at $600. And that's not going to buy you much. Stand, though. Stand could be everything. Inns waiting for the throw. Pops off the wall, and oh, Apoc down to 46. That is as meaty as you like.
If you hit one target, that's about as big as you'd want it. The only bigger ones you'd get is if there's basically a bombing run.
See though, there's still time and opportunity. Genuine not overly committing to this. They're just sitting at the bottom of banana right now. Now they're starting to go forward. Starting to venture their way up. They force Dick Stacy off. He's going to be walled off behind the smoke, and that means Inns with the MP9 is pretty much on an island right now. He's isolated. Dick Stacy actually jumps through the smoke. Tries to come in and support his boy. Inns sitting around the corner here with the MP9. Finds the first kill. Actually, that's Dick Stacy to get it. And now he's alone, trying to stay alive. He's getting tagged at point heavily by Maker. And oh, there's so much damage. Gets the Dink in 1 HP, but not able to find the kill. Rotates come through. It's a 3-on-3. 2 players very lit up. Malta's down at 13 HP. Maker's down at 1. But everyone else is sub 50 on Genuine. So there's a very big window of opportunity for this. Dexter's going to drop in the Molotov. Does that find a kill? Does that spread anywhere? No, it actually just missed by the looks of it. However, Dexter, oh, he's spraying. He wants it. Malta's got the kill, though. Knows where Maker is. Finds that one. Does he overlook Dark again, though? That's where the second player is. He has no idea. Looking around, he's going to be caught in the back. Jinx wins the one-on-one in the big round for Genuine.
And the gap now won, and the AWP's been salvaged as well. And you've always got to double-check that position because of how powerful it is. Yeah, the low HP player was there, but he did his job. Baited out the one, and then just had the teammate swing out, catch the other one unawares. So we are now at 4 for Grayhound, 3 for Genuine, and in all likelihood to be a tie unless these nades and pistols do a ton of damage on the T's as they run up to the defense.
Okay, Malta just got run over by people jumping through smokes. Just CS things happens. The 3-man rush down. Bananas trying to come in on a fast flank, but it's to be watched for. Maker spotted one. Nice headshot there onto Sicko. See where the Inns has gotten through. If they're not aware of that, Inns might be able to catch a player out as he works through apartments. But Maker's going to look for it. Timing does not work out in Inns' favor, and that leaves Dexter. AKA, if you look at his sticker from the major, you might think it's Sexter, but it's in fact Dexter. He's got the D in hand. See if you can find a sexy 1D here.
Nope. He gets too riddled with the bullets to do so. And we are at a tie game after 8 rounds. And this, in the very early stages, it's definitely delivering its hype in terms of being a potential new story and a team finally being able to sort of find their opening and their chance to sort of play with the big boys and punch above their weight. Genuine's doing very, very well in keeping up with the likes of Grayhound.
Definitely showing that they have some big potential. Now, again, top mid's where they're going through the smoke. Sicko double clutches on the Molotov. That's not what you want. It's a great job with the spray. Now he's got the molly to fall back on. That buys him some time. Hoping the rotates can come around because no one's really in position. No one's in sight. It's just Malta and Pit. This is a very difficult challenge. Dexter's moved over to brackets. I think Stacy's so tight up mid behind them, but he's getting sprayed through. They might know that he's there, and in fact, he's falling all the way off of it. Good play there. Now they've rotated more into this site. They're leaving Inns at arches. If they like to go back, B could be free.
Yeah, this could either be just a full-blown bait and switch, but if Genuine decide to go for this could end up being disastrous. See how this goes. It looks like Skullhunter's wanting to engage, and as I'm getting
Wrap
Inns,
arches.
but it looks like they're going towards Arch.
Wrap arches, please do it. Don't commit to this. I know you can't see it, but with the amount of noise that you had and the amount of time that you took, the rotate should be here. We're actually seeing Stat make some noise up Banana to try and sell the fake, but it doesn't matter. They haven't really pulled anybody. Dexter's now watching the arch possibility. This should... Oh, Malta just got deleted. Big entry by Skullhunter. He's got another one. Okay. Never mind. Apparently, walking into a stack gets the job done when you have Skullhunter literally living up to his name. Cracking skulls wide open. Genuine looking poised. I think Dick Stacy is just going to fall back and save. Indeed, wise call here. Money is terrible for Grayhound. And Genuine will take the lead.
And with a strong line surviving too, which will be 3 being Skull Hunter, Jinx, and Stat. And you said it yourself, he's living up to his name. Just almost single-handedly just smashing that entire stack and making it useless. It was... But banking on that so hard, it might not work out for you in the long run. And Dick says he won't even survive. He won't be able to carry anything over. So that's Genuine taking the lead, and they have basically the tools and the situation to really extend it, if not 1, maybe 2 rounds.
And this is getting a little bit uncomfortable for Grayhound, but we might just have another big upcoming Australian talent here with the way that Skull Hunter is cracking open sights. The Maker's just playing to start the game at 10 kills already. There's a lot of potential on this team.
Indeed, and I've actually noticed a couple of these members from previous teams. Skull Hunter sticks out to me because of his time in what was Mastermind's gaming club before, I believe, moving over to Genuine. And I thought he had potential all the way back then. It would have been last year. And he's definitely just found his stride, and it's been a pleasure to watch him go from step to step. And looking at Genuine as a squad, definitely do have a bright future, as you were saying. And Skull Hunter, well, Stizzy means to go on, as Clem de Paris, Sicko, and Malta. And Arch has been smoked off. It looks like the wrap is fully at effect, and the A site will be completely cleared and safe. But the bomb taking a while. There it is, with Jinx punching in the digits, and the time will be back on, and Genuine moving on towards 6, and ins dropped.
I've been really impressed with the confidence in which Genuine are taking some of these duels. I mean, when you're coming into a game against players that actually have stickers in this game, not that that means a huge amount, but the fact that they've been there, they've played the best in the world. You know, they've had very good games against teams like Vitality coming back to the past 2 majors. That says a lot, and the fact that they're confidently coming in here is Dick Stacy finds 1 before falling. The fact that they're coming in, taking duels, feeling like they can even beat this team is a really good sign. Sometimes you'll hop in a server with teams that, you know, most people would say should beat you. Some people would think will beat you fairly handily. You can sort of get in your own head. And there really hasn't been that for Genuine, as they've now picked up 6 in a row, I believe.
Yeah, it's been a strong run from Genuine, and not to undersell their previous match against Order did have a lot of high caliber players in there as well. Remember, they wanted to keep that going, but Ins up to the top of Nana has Clem de Pair, despite getting a lot of things thrown at him and a lot of fire at your feet. He's tagged up a lot, but he got a lot more for it, and even more damage being thrown at Genuine. So perhaps this is where the train will stop, unless Genuine can either sniff out a high HP player. They really want to get Sicko, or they'd want to finish off both Ins and Dick Stacy, and then figure out their next plan of attack.
Well, they're going to be executing in towards this B-bomb site. Molly's coming down. Smokes in as well. Just a standard execute, and Dick Stacy roasts in the flames. Skid spray through Dexter, actually. Not even having a gap. That's just full blind spraying through. Drops the bomb on APOC. And now Inns is going to come around. Finds the bomb kill, and that leaves Stat alone. That's 2 kills through a smoke. That's not the way that that's supposed to work out. But it's one of the things that Inns can give you is rounds like this where he just pops off. He has a lot of star potential. He's honestly one of the players I've been looking to see step up in this past year, and almost wondered if he might find himself on Renegades if they elected to make a change instead of Grayhound. Like, he has that kind of potential to be one of the best players in Australia. And the fact is he's coming in here showing very well, but these nades... Oh, and Sicko! He may have just mollied off Dick Stacy. He's not going to go that far. Oh, yeah, Dick is in a lot of trouble. Drops the smoke down to stay alive. Now he's going to jump through another molly.
And a lot of damage exchange on the Genuine too from Nate. It's just Inferno living up to his name as to how strong utility is on this map because of the spots where they used.
We'll see as they try and come around to the A bomb site. There are 3 nestled there. Sicko is pulled off of arches though. He's just going to tuck into library. We'll see. Looks like they're going to hit. They've just got their man falling back up banana right now. That's Maker. So they're probably going to wait for him to come a little bit closer before they go too hard into this fight. First challenge though, and it's Skull Hunter again ripping away the life from Sicko. These entries from him are so precise and so crisp. Looking for another one, spots out a player, tapped away. He's gonna find it. No, Malta and Dexter can work as an absolute unit, find those kills. Flashbangs are good. And now players are falling. It's just APOC in the 1v3. Jumps up on the box, trying to find it, but Dexter's got the kill there as well.
It sounded like it was little.
That was a 3k for Dexter, 2k for Malta. They basically came together like, I was going to say Megazord, but that was made up of 5 Power Rangers. So maybe like the brain and mind of Megazord. Then the rest
You ever
is
watched
made the body.
like the most recent Power Rangers movie? The one like from a couple years ago?
No,
Like, I thought it would be terrible because Power Rangers movie in like 2017 wasn't that bad. I actually kind of enjoyed it. It's not a good movie by any standards, but like it's a fun ride.
It's got to be better than Dragon Ball Evolution. That movie was just awful. And speaking of awful, there was an awful lot of shrapnel directed towards APOC. He's down to 39, and Maker is down and out. Send him packing very early on, and well, Genuine are really gonna have to figure out their next move because Grayhound is starting to really put the clamps onto the running of Genuine and how they've been attacking these sites. You see them moving back towards bottom mid, and now thinking of where they will go next. If they catch this, remember Grayhound on the way back. If they catch Dick Stacy out of the way, they did get one by the sandbags, but there's not to be. And there's a Molotov out towards the church, but no fear from Dexter. Has got one, a second, and a third for the coffins. And fitting he'd be there because he just said Genuine to their grave. And just on the back of a huge play, Grayhound are back in the lead. And Genuine, in terms of their money, they are on their last legs. And that is a pause called. And I'm not sure who actually called it. But you'd be pretty safe to say it would have been Genuine just trying to say, okay, find your bearings, take a breath. We have a chance to buy in and stop this. But how are we going to do it?
Yeah, that was a huge series of play from Greyhound's resident serial killer, Dexter, lining him up and breaking him right down. Great spray transfer on that last one as well. But at the end of the day here, they have lost 3 in a row for Genuine after that nice little 6-round run that they were on. So it makes sense that they'd call a timeout, see if they can't come together with an idea. Maker doesn't have a lot of money. James hasn't bought yet. Yeah, there we go. Wasn't sure if he was going to pull out an AWP. Has not elected to do so. Of course, it is Inferno. I'm never a fan of T-side hopping Inferno. There's very few players, even at like the top of the scene, that I feel like do an effective job on it. And I find a lot of the times, I just personally at least prefer teams when they have rifles on the T-side. Ins though, down banana, finds a kill. Quickly traded back by Skull Hunter, and that's another round in a row. Skull Hunter's gotten a couple of really nice trades there. As this continues, a bit of a surprising performance from him here.
It's definitely been a star-making run for him, in my opinion. And still, Genuine can't really rest on their laurels and can't really get complacent, especially knowing that you're against the likes of Grayhound, who, well, they have their logo in the game. You can't really take that away from them.
I have one on my AWP. As Dick Stacy peeks out, finds Skull Hunter. They didn't expect the peek from above over the smoke. Problem is, Skull's the only one there. The remaining players are coming around to this A-bomb site. The rotation from Dexter will make it through, so this is going to be a 3-on-3. Do they expect Dexter to peek out late from Arches here? APOC caught unaware. He had no idea. So now our remaining 2 players have a tall task ahead of them to try and deal with the pit player. Malta's just sitting there, peeks out. He's got the free one on the stat, and now Jinx alone, 1v4. This isn't going to be easy. This isn't going to be fun. I'm not really sure he's got an opportunity as Dexter rips his head away. Grayhound clinched the half. And now they try and make it 9-6 as opposed to 8-7. And with the money on Genuine, that shouldn't be too difficult to challenge.
But you forget the scene that we're dealing with here, Graham. We're dealing with the Australian scene, and they love their power pistols, and they're making seemingly something out of nothing. We see 3 CZs, the UMP, and the AK on Jinx. So we'll look to him to perform.
Well, it's a good little strat. 1 AK and just keep passing the torch. Someone dies, pick up the AK. See if it works out. Big thing over on Grayhound is I'm a little surprised. Sicko, yeah, he's got the AWP, but he's had a slow start to this game. He's 4-9 right now. Bottom of the server, tied on an identical scoreline with Jinx. But this time they have adequately faked towards the A bomb site. Inns is the only one towards B. He's gonna get some pretty advanced information here, but if they catch him, they can get in free plan on B.
That's if they catch him unawares, and I think this little bit of tentativeness could end up being a detriment. That is Inns caught with a nade out, does end up flashing a couple of the members of Genuine, and despite the death going down, that's definitely called the rotate over. A lot of the members of Grayhound are in the CT position, and a big nade from downtown will chunk up a lot of the Genuine players, and that's made things a little bit easier for Grayhound on this retake. A 5 versus 4, but that's made things a lot less of a gamble for a lot of the members being down to, say, a 2-shot kill as opposed to a 3, and that is Skull Hunter down. And Trey's back and forth, and blink and you miss it. APOC and Jinx will basically pull off a magic trick and snap their fingers. And we are at a 1-round game. 8-7 at the change. Grayhound will be at the top. And Graham, Genuine are impressing me. First it was their pickups in other titles. Their Tekken squad is unbelievable. And it looks like Genuine are wanting to try and match that strength.
Well, hey, I mean, if you told me coming into this game that Genuine were going to come off and have the first half of Inferno end 8-7, I probably would have laughed at you. I might have said some rude things. Yeah, I would not have been very accepting of that as the world that we live in. But at the end of the day, guess what? That is, in fact, the world that we live in. Like, they've done an incredible job being here toe-in-toe with Grayhound. The question is how good is their CT side? Will they just bring it? Or is it going to be Grayhound storming back on the T side with some really nice rounds? We've got a lot of utility to work with. 2 smokes, 3 flashes. I'm wondering if that's potentially towards B, smoke off coffins, smoke off CT with some flashes over. That would be my guess, but we'll see what they elect to do.
Potentially do an A execute.
Oh,
big nade! That's a bombing run if I've ever seen it. Maker, and that will just blast Sicko away. And
so Sicko's gone. That was one of the flashes, and Dick Stacy somehow has not actually picked up the smoke. So this leaves them in a really rough spot as they're out on the site. Apoc's got the kill. Make that a duo for him. Jinx was being pressured in pit, and now he'll peek out, finds one, finds the other, and that is just about as close as it could go.
That was just basically a masterclass on CT utility usage and how effective a dual nade throw, or what I call the bombing run, whenever it's done up Nana. If it basically nets you a frag, especially that early on when you got a high util player, it's so pivotal. And as soon as he goes down, it looked like Grayhound were completely out of sorts and had no idea what to do. And APOC has gotten one of the Dick Stacy. It looks like Grayhound just know that this round is lost. They haven't put a single cent into this. So they're just wanting to go through the motions. And Genuine can really put those SMGs to good use.
Yeah, in an ideal world here, you're getting all these kills with the 3 SMGs. You don't want the FAMAS or M4 to get kills. They're more there as safety nets. It's just a great window for them to come back through with these SMGs.
All the rifle players will really want to do is just hold angles or just keep them at bay. It doesn't look like APOC may have a choice, though. He may call around his buddies. Just hold the line. Just looking towards Arch, and the cubby position is looking to smoke off the rest of the Grayhound, but he looked to get pinched on by Dexter, and that'll be enough of that.
Maker has an idea of what's going on here. I think they've realized that this might be the arch push, and Skull Hunter's going to try and come around. Malta's in the corner here. If he gets caught out, in fact, he will get cleaned up. But now with FAMAS for Maker, leaves Sicko. And we'll see if he can go sicko mode with a Glock. Instead, he gets shut down by Maker.
He definitely did meet his Maker there. And once again, Genuine in the lead. And a pretty tight frag spread for Genuine, all things considered. Although there is Stat bringing up the rears, but he does have a fair few assists to his name, which is 4. So 15, 11 for Maker, APOC at 11 and 10. And Skull Hunter actually at 12 and 14, so he's had to, in lieu of get those trades, he's actually had to perhaps put his life on the line a lot more often than not. But given how tightly contested this entire map's been thus far, you can't really be surprised with that kind of line.
Skull Hunter just spraying a little bit away with the MP9. Again, it's a bit of a bonus round. The fact is, everybody's got the same weaponry they had last round over on Genuine. They're just trying to farm some of that cash up. Skull Hunter gets a peek out. I'm not sure what he saw down mid, which is going to be a little bit hairy, but he gets the spray through. Does so much damage to Nick Stacy, but Inns has a quick flick around, finds the M4. That is the pivotal one, because that's one of the only rifles on the side of Genuine. Now this makes it all more hard. Does Jinx expect? Oh, he's just going to spot out In. Oh, the timing. Oh, Inns gets it. I thought he would have spotted that earlier. It might have been 4-3. Flick over to the rifle, though. And Stat doesn't have it. It's just Maker on the FAMAS.
And Maker is wanting no part of this. It's looking like he's just wanting to stay in library and perhaps catch a member or two on the way out. And doesn't look like Grayhound with oblige in the slightest, no. Looks like they're all moving out towards second mid and apartments. So we're tied once more, but the big kicker here is that all members of Grayhound survive. So nothing has to really be reboarded aside from utility, and well, on the T side, it's not really that big of a deal as opposed to the CT side.
All players staying alive on Grayhound. Maker's trying to find that kill on the Malta. Oh, his timing close. Malta almost peeked into it. But in the end, doesn't even matter. Everyone lives on Grayhound as they start to build up that T-side economy. There'll be pistols here. Potentially, Genuine actually going very dry in this round. APOC's sitting on 3,700. He's saving for the AWP. Stats saving up pretty heavily as well. So there will be plenty of money into the next round.
Would we perhaps see a double op set up, one at the top of Nana and the one in mid, perhaps? Well, the big thing that you'd want to keep in mind, especially now. Grayhound will want to survive as much as possible, and on the contrary, for Genuine, they'll be one to use that power pistol and the FAMAS for as much damage as possible. It doesn't look like Genuine's able to get a rebuttal yet. And just filing out onto the A's site, and Jinx is wiped out quickly. And Maker's coming in from top mid and actually gets a pair, but is left on his own. And now that he's salvaged an AK, he's going to run for the hills and just hang on to that weapon because it's so valuable, especially now because he does have the armor and helmet to hang on to.
Very, very nicely done. Now we'll see if he can hang on to it. I don't think there's much of a hunt in the way, so this should be okay. And even better is if he can find the kill onto Dick Stacy. I don't think he's gonna peek. I don't think Dick's even gonna get close on this one.
No, doesn't look it. He's just way back in CT, and Maker is gone. I didn't think he'd step out. That's egregious error, I'd feel.
Yeah, questionable. But at the end of the day, doesn't even matter. Money is still there for him to buy into this one with all the util he can want. Genuine, they're going for broke in this round. They have gone all out, and Dick Stacy misses the flashbang down mid. Now the pressure comes down banana. They're smoked off. Nade's not doing anything. That nade's probably going to sail too deep as well. Sorry, this is 3 damage to Maker. Doesn't sail that deep.
No. If it went the other way, though, it would have almost made the M4 a one-shot to the head. But that is not really all that relevant. A good note to have for future reference. And all it is just damage exchange, and you definitely give it to Grayhound now. And Skull Hunter in the middle of that engagement got fired along quite heavily, but ends up taking out ins. So starting off on the right foot, the defending side, but just hot in the heels of the other members of Grayhound, and the bomb is actually moving back through Arch. And look at Greyhound's position; it's so strange. And Skull Hunter will actually burn alive after that.
Yeah, Grayhound trying to make like my dinner and wrap here, but Apox got the shot onto Dick Stacy. They are still all just penned up close. They're not ready to commit to the wrap whatsoever, and that's allowing Stat to come down banana. Come back up mid, try and get some of this information. He's going to find the free kill on the Sicko. Okay, maybe not the kill. He's going to get a lot of damage done as Apox swings out with the AWP, finds one more. Jinx got that one, and Apox got it in the back. So kills get the job done is Genuine. Cruise to a 10th and even things up here.
And the big thing there, only one member went down, so it's only going to force one rebuy. And if you're on the CT side, you want that coin. It's so valuable, especially towards late game, which is where we're just about to enter. You would want a stable economy with a lot of members surviving. And you'd really want to put the foot down onto Grayhound, and a lot of damage from that nade. Sicko and Dick Stacy getting the worst of that one, especially Sicko is down to 58. And that might have even limited some of the options in this very early stage.
Nades again doing a little bit of damage. Could have been a lot more meaty. Maker may elect to throw one that will be quite meaty. Instead he falls off of this. We'll see who will take the lead at this stage in the game. This is, of course, map 1 of the Dreamhack Malmö Oceanic closed qualifiers. I have, of course, some Graham Morrison, a.k.a. Grahamcast, joined by Justin Lutz, a.k.a. I Am Cyberwaste. And we're here on CappingTV, bringing you premier Oceanic Counter-Strike action. Now Skull Hunter goes... He actually got that kill on Dexter. I didn't think he did. But now he does find it. The nade doesn't quite land, but Apox got the shot onto Malta. And that ekes out a one-man advantage as the bomb starts to make its way towards the B-bomb site. Maker's boosted up. Stat's there with them, but Dick Stacy has the entry. Quick trade by Stat, but he's in all kinds of trouble. 8 HP coming out of the back corner. Gets a big tag onto Sicko, but the 2-1-2 is the spot that we live in, as the bomb should go down momentarily. Jinx and APOC trying to retake. The fact that it's an AWP in hand makes this a little bit harder, a little bit more hairy for APOC. As Jinx jumps across, Sicko's got the kill. Nice stop shot from APOC. Sicko's going to go down there. I thought he actually got that. And now it's the new man, Inns, versus APOC. Swing out, Inns has got it. And Grayhound grab 11.
Easy peasy mac and cheesy. 2 for Sicko, 2 for the new man, Inns. And Grayhound will take the lead. And it was just that really, it seemed like a little bit of a frazzled engagement there towards the church. It just seemed like Genuine was sort of rushing into it, even though they did have a little bit of time on their side, and that might be a little bit of the sort of nervousness might be coming into play now. And Stat, ow, he's not feeling too hot very early on, and Skull Hunter isn't either. He is completely erased from this round.
Another grenade. So much utility damage so far this map. Of course, it did reset at half, so numbers aren't as impressive as they potentially would have been, but I think so far we've seen some pretty meaty nades this game. That one was good for about 83 damage. I think if math is... My quick maths is right. APOC, though, jumps up to Apps, not able to find that one. Dexter's got them both. And, poor Maker. It's alone on the A-bomb site. CZ in hand. Gives him a window. Taps around, doesn't find it. And now, Stat, 1v5, CZ in hand. Fact is if he does elect to poke and prod with this, Moth and Dick Stacy are both easy kills with it. However, Inns coming up, Bananas got it for free. 12 round for Grayhound. As they attempt to win Genuine's map pick. Following maps for this series, if you are wondering out there, friends out there in Twitch chat. Next map will be Overpass. That's Grayhound's pick. And should we need it, Nuke, where, again, Genuine looked pretty good as they beat Order, will be the decider.
It's been a really tightly contested map as of late, and Inns just running like a bat out of hell. Has nabbed himself a second and a completely evacuated B bomb site. And, well, Genuine, you can't really expect too much from them given their investment. It's been rather minuscule. And efficiency right there between Inns and Dick Stacy will completely wipe the floor with the opposition of Genuine, and they're up to 13. And Genuine are now buying in, and this could be their second to last chance. And they're going to have to live up to their entire name and put in a genuine effort, which we know that they're capable of now. We'll see if they can pull that off.
And I'd just like to point out, Inns is almost at a 2 KD in this game. He has been incredible as he actually falls, of course. Caster Curse. Speak highly of a player, and he will get taken out by Maker. Jinx has one on to Malta as well as they do a double push down Apps. Is it only 3? They're coming up Banana right now. And Stat, I haven't been able to swap to his POV in time. I'm not sure if that was just through the smoke on a pre-fire.
It was through the smoke and completely flat too.
Oh my god, and Dexter gets tagged up quite heavily. Stat jumps around the smoke. He's somehow still alive, waiting for his teammates to come in. This is so pivotal. How is he alive for so long? He's going to drop the flash down behind him. Full whites up the player. Misses the no-scope on the Sicko. Gets it this time. Stat, have yourself a round. Big tag, 2 big kills, and Genuine pick up 11.
Sometimes the rounds will just fall that way. Like, it gets into something that feels extremely scrappy, and sometimes underdogs can really thrive in an environment like that, and that was put on display. And well, Stat will be feeling rather chuffed after that, and definitely be feeling the orb. It's in the hands of both him and APOC moving forward, and Molotovs will be exchanged.
Rip Stat.
And Dick Stacy got tagged up rather heavily too, but Stat got absolutely torched. Much like a lot of the bushfires. Be safe out there, people.
Alright, I just gotta take a second while we have APOC falling. And just give a quick shout out to Matt, EXE, and Atmos, Overwatch, and Parodius. I see you with all these ins puns, and they have been noted and I'm appreciative.
Yeah, the amount of puns are insurmountable. and due to betray that in Malta, bringing the man advantage back to Greyhound, and Skullhunter just continue with his tip attack go. And Skullhunter gets a second before being traded back.
There was an instant trade there by Malta. And Maker, though, with the nade.
The 3.
1v1. Drops it down, plunks it. Spots it out. Grabs the bomb. And that's the 12th round for Genuine.
That was just swift as you would like. Maker would have known from the previous intel that was gathered by the other members of Genuine. He's low. Peg a nade at him. See what happens. That's exactly how you want that to go. From downtown, bang! And the gap is now 1. And Graham, I both commend and curse you for mentioning that members in Twitch chat were making ins puns because it was only encouragement. Please don't do that.
Oh, nades. Ooh, that's actually way less damage than I thought they were going to. It looked like one dropped right at Maker's feet, and somehow he took nothing from it. Well, took 20 damage. That's not quite nothing. And again, that one looked like it was going to land on him, and somehow he took 2 damage. Just nade things.
The mystery continues in terms of CSGO utility. Greyhound might be a little bit more tentative now with Dick Stacy in a real easy frag zone. He's on to 30 HP and could really be taken advantage of, especially by Jinx and Stat, the members with the SMGs. But it looks like Nana will be the call here, and there's very little guarding it until Stat actually arrives.
Now, here's the unfortunate part about this round, right? Is the fact that there isn't good weaponry on Genuine. They have the 2 MP9s. So that means that they had to kind of gamble on a stack. They moved them over towards A. They finally have an inkling, so they moved the player back towards B. So this makes things a little bit awkward. His Stat swings out with the MP9, finds one. But APOC has to go through the smoke with the AWP. He's taken out. Greyhound looking in a great spot here, as Maker not expecting ins to push through. And the remaining players are going to run away and try and save. I think Stacy died somewhere. I don't recall, in fact, where he died. I think it was on site. So that should not be recoverable. But that one is going to be recoverable. And that's very nice because Jinx just had the MP9, so he's got an AK now. And finally, 2 rifles that are worth saving for the side of Genuine. However, this puts Greyhound on 14. 2 rounds away from taking map 1.
These were at least assured if Genuine mounts a run back, they can go the distance, but Greyhound are 2 maps away from getting themselves Inferno and moving on to the next. And it doesn't look like either squad will engage. Will Dexter come close? Doesn't look like he's keen to engage, no. So 14 now for Greyhound, 12 for Genuine. And Genuine, looking at their bite, it's looking extremely scrappy. And well, they're tapping out a telegram to their fans saying, we're giving our all, we're doing our best, but there are plenty of dogs in the trenches, and we may be home earlier than expected. But they are definitely hoping not. They're hoping to continue the fight, and a flopped Molotov from Malta will cut off a couple of members of Greyhound in second mid, so that's a little bit awkward.
Will they find any kills, though? APOC on the scout. Okay, there goes Sicko grabbing Skull Hunter. I like the aggression. I like the idea to try and peek that, but when there's an AWP posted, it is instant suicide.
Definitely, especially with an AWP of Sicko's caliber. Been watching his play evolve over the last couple of years. He's been one of the AWPs to be feared, especially when it gets a good duo on certain sites. And, well, ins note the 2 towards Cubby. There's a little bit of a boost above the smoke from Stat. Using that for recon, and him dropping to his feet definitely alerted the rest of the Greyhound members, and caught in the way out was APOC. Ins will get the frag there, and ooh, Doctor.
Well, that was a nice play to get a good tag in and then drop down and try and find another one. The downside of this is, well, it leaves Maker, and Ins finds the instant 1 tap. It with ease.
That is indeed, and we are at match point for Greyhound, and to even force overtime, Genuine will have to win out and look at that coin. As in, where is it? It's essentially a mock flag out of my wallet at that point. Look how scrappy this is. They're gonna have to make a lot with very little. It's definitely possible. We've seen it happen, but do you really like their chances? They're really gonna have to not put a foot wrong from here on out.
This is a very big mountain they need to try and climb, and with that nade damage, I might just say that this is insurmountable. We'll see if they can convert the round, though, as there is just some pistols on Genuine. A couple flashbangs. Do give them a window to try and catch a player out. They're going to stack up here a little bit in apps. Try and swing down. They don't spot them out. Timing does not work in their favor there. Forward towards the A bomb site, though, and the bomb is positioned at the bottom of Banana. And it looks like the bomb is going up Banana, potentially. No, it's falling back around. So they're going towards A, where there's 4 players. This could get hairy, especially with these smokes down if you come around close. Basically, what you're trying to do is zone down so you can get them close-range duels with the pistols. Higher damage, get some headshots in. That's what you're looking for. But with them falling away, going surely up Banana now. Maybe not. I mean, there's still 3 players just sitting top mid. It's just 2 working their way up Banana. I think it's just for the fake, and it's worked to perfection. Everybody's leaving. Everybody is leaving.
Yep. Greyhound knows this.
The map.
Greyhound knows this. They have to have strength in numbers because of their weak economic standing. And Epcot will get rid of ins, and that'll be the weapon salvage, but that is worth very little now with the bomb down and the pressure mounting and Skull Hunter being sent to the tally sheet for potentially the final time. The rest of Genuine have finally showed up. It's a 4 versus 4. You definitely give it to Greyhound, though, especially given their current positioning. And moving up through top mid, the rest of Genuine is starting to wrap around, but it looks like Volta is there to assist from the pit. Dexter gets one, Malta gets the other. That is the final frag for the opening map. A good effort from Genuine, but their logo will have to be repeated as the GGs will be exchanged. And that is 1 map to Greyhound in the first semi-final.
Yeah, and you know, despite the fact that Greyhound took map 1, they took Genuine's pick, it was still an inspiring performance out of them. The fact that they were able to come out here and put on a very good show against Inns and Company. That said, they are up against the wall now as we head to Overpass. So we're going to be taking a quick break. This is for the Dreamhack Malmö 2019 Oceanic Closed Qualifiers. I am Graham Casts, joined by Cyberwaste. Follow us on Twitter at GrahamCasts and at IamCyberwaste. We'd appreciate the support, and we'll be back after this break. You're watching CappingTV.
We have been to many places, shared many moments, but it's time to come back to the place where it all began.
Charging it. Oh my God, Justy, you've got to be kidding! He's got the ball down, Flamey. He knows where he is. What? It's got name. He's done from tracking.
Welcome to Malmö.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Once again, my name is Graham Morrison, a.k.a. GrahamCast, joined by Justin Lutz, a.k.a. I Am Cyberwaste. We are here for the Dreamhack Malmö Oceanic Closed Qualifiers, Greyhound, Genuine, Map 2, and we're live into the pistol round. Greyhound are over on the T side, and they find a great opener there. Sicker with the 1 tap onto Skull Hunter. We'll see if Grayhound can continue their momentum as they took map 1 16-12.
Perhaps, and those are stars they mean to go on. They've rushed up to the upper site, and Malta jumping on top of Optimus will run down APOC. And Jinx has been able to get the reply by the dumpster, but the bomb is now down, and this is just going for bad. If Stack could get a frag here, that could be a big deal, but it's been pushed away by Inns, and Maker just got put down by Inns with a bullet straight to the upper temple. And, well, Genuine may as well just try to go for exit to write this off, because there is no way Greyhound are giving this up. But nope, it's only Dick Stacy to go down, and Greyhound just start off extremely strong. And like you said, they're going to keep that momentum going from their previous run on Inferno.
Yeah, it was smooth as you'd like. Well, I was gonna say like the good kind of peanut butter, but I kind of like crunchy peanut butter. So I don't know.
Oy!
I'm always torn on that. But speaking of torn, Skull Hunter is torn apart by Malta with the AK. Finds the first kill in this round as these pistols try and just do a little bit of damage, but like to recover a gun. And make Greyhound force some rebuys into the next round. Don't like their chances to win a round, especially when everyone's going up long. I think APOC has heard that. That might just be the spec spot where you hear it louder. But he's found the first one. Player piece. Oh! Okay!
What a big flick.
Yeah, and I was a little bit critical of APOC off air between maps. I expected more out of him, and he's showing it there. He's got a third one with the D, getting the job done. Dick Stacy's down quite low. This gives them an awkward spot. It looks like they're trying to wrap around though. They want to go down towards B, but Stat, he's in a great spot for this. He's gonna hear it. Could find a kill. They're gonna jump out. I think Inns may have spotted that. He's caught unaware. That's the bomb down, and it drops into heaven. That's everything right now for Genuine. And as I said, they shouldn't have an opportunity to win this round. They're heavy favorites. Dick Stacy is alone, 18 HP. APOC's got his 4th, and that is the heroist of hero plays out of APOC. 4 with the Deeg.
He might have caught wind of our talk before we went back on air, and he is like, "Yeah, well, watch what I can do," and then he pulls that off. Anyway,
And
that's really puts Greyhound back on the 4 spot. They're fully armored up with pistols. They might be looking to just rain flashes down and just get right in the face of Genuine.
I just caught the replay of that D shot too. And the first one, I mean, that's easy. The guy standing still lined him up. That's one that I miss in matchmaking, but you don't miss at this level. The second one though, just to turn around and get it. Oh, so dirty. Now it's Deegs on Greyhound. Dick Stacy already erased from the server. 3 though on Greyhound with Deegs. CZ on Malta and a big nade right onto Sicko's face. And the CZ is down. Molly drop. This is looking like a fairly comfortable round for Genuine, but these Deegs can always make things interesting.
Do they have? Well, Epoch had showed this earlier. Dex is maybe starting off a trend. Limited Maker with a 1B. Now here's all that remains, and Skull Hunter will clean up the scraps. And well, Genuine, they started off a little bit shaky, but they have rebounded with flawless form. And that's going to force Greyhound to basically be complicit and just run through the motions of being a T on Inferno. Oh, not on Inferno, on Overpass. They were previously on Inferno. Different models and all.
Yeah, and I would say I feel pretty confident in Greyhound in this game, in this map. They're gonna go for the boost. That's spotted out by Stat, and I think they realize that he's known. They elect to okay, meeting it. 80 damage onto Malta, 71 onto Dexter, and the op shot does another 83 onto Sicko. So that's 4 players still alive, but essentially dead.
They combine to like 1.5 player pools, if that. and Dexter getting a little bit too much with that. And if Stat can go down at the hands of Sicko, that's going to be a big deal. But no, he gets completely blindsided by the Genuine defense. And, well, this is starting off extremely strong for the side of Genuine. And keeping on APOC now, he has the AWP to hand.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far saying it's extremely well. Keep in mind, they won the eco at Deegs, but they just won against Deegs and then one against Glock. It's the 3 rounds that they picked up. Now is going to be a good indicator of the game. It's the first gun round. This is super important. It's a hyper important round this early on, especially based on the money. If Genuine win this game, nothing for Grayhound. It's going to be another save. They're already looking up to like 5-6 rounds on your CT side early. That's all you can ask for. Flashbang comes over though. Skull Hunter peeks out and he's found one. He's gonna be able to escape. I think no, he's cut in the back by Nick Stacy. Nick Stacy's got APOC as well. The AWP is just not there for him tonight. And now.
And Graham might be wrestling with a bunch of automatons. But all that said and done, Greyhound still on the march. 2 are moving out towards long. One moving through the bathrooms, or one moving right next to him. Looks like a setup towards the A site. Through for the bathrooms. Be onto Maker had no clue. He got absolutely blindsided. So did Stat from Optimus. Dick Stacy has 4 on the round. He might be wanting to get the ace here. He's gotten the bomb down by the truck, and Sicko will snatch the ace from Dick Stacy. But still, a 4K from him is extremely commendable. And we are now at a gap of 1. Genuine's still in the lead, but it's looking perhaps a little bit more shaky now that there has been an actual rebuttal from Greyhound.
Am I still Mr. Destructoid? Am I still Roboto? Okay. Well, they got absolutely dicked on in that round by Dick Stacy. It was a good round out of him. Now there is still a buyout for Genuine. Their money's very broken. And Stat dinked up early is not quite the start that you'd want if you are a Genuine fanboy. They have position 3 outside bathrooms right now, although Skull Hunter is going to fall off a little bit. See if APOC can make the AWP work this time around. 3 players getting set to hit in. Smoke comes down to deny the molly, and now they're trying to lurk their way forward. 2 players in the long side bathrooms, though, might be able to find a kill.
Last will go over. It was a big one, but perhaps the Hunter was wanting a bit more. To get 1, but Maker is there to make the save. So Genuine do have the manpower, but I don't believe that Genuine actually have eyes on where the bomb had dropped. They had eyes who the carrier was, and Jinx had eyes on Dexter, and he is promptly dispatched. So now the buddy system is really going to have to be tested. It's Ins and Sicko against 4, and Sicko is the AWP, so that is going to be a pivotal weapon moving forward, especially now that APOC has one as well.
Well, they're trying to find their way through, and the question is do they overlook Maker in short? That's going to make the hit. Oh, actually, never mind, they're not even going to go for it. They're just going to hang on to these guns. I thought for a second, like, there was time for them to get into that site and potentially find it, but they like to just hang on to the weaponry. And Sicko has the free kill. Nobody is even close. They're going to be able to hang on to them. But that is a 4th round for Genuine.
A 4th round, yeah, but a rebuy is still forced there from Sicko's parting frag after time had expired. It's just glad that frag was essentially free. If that was ended up being an awkward engagement, it would have been disastrous for the T side moving forward, because if you die after the time, you don't get a bonus. And you don't want that. And Sicko caught make a mid-jump for recon. And that is not the start that you'd want on the defense. Not at all.
Well, there is still a good set of potential. Inns is just a single tag away from being a kill. Malta's got no head armor, so same case for him. One headshot gets the job done there. And then Dick Stacy's just on a P250. So not ideal for Grayhound. Into a stat in the surf up spot. He's alone in the world. And takes out by the AWP, but APOC gets traded out instantly again by Dexter. Great trades coming through. Jinx finds Dick Stacy, though. Will get taken out by Sicko. Do they overlook this spot? Indeed they do. Skull Hunter just gets 2. And stat hasn't even peaked yet.
Essentially, Grayhound just basically got force pinched by Skull Hunter on the flank there. They essentially just got wrapped upon and popped like a pimple. And now with that, 5 and 2, and Grayhound, they've bought in with digs. There's a couple of bits of armor too to bring the rest of the economy kind of in line. And we'll see how all this pans out, but I'm not really expecting much unless there's heroics from Sicko and Dick Stacy especially.
Skull Hunter, though, oh, he's got 2 of them there, grabbing both Malta and Inns. Huge openers again. Yeah, it's still pistols, but Skull Hunter has been very impressive this entire series as APOC gets a shot on to Sicko. Leaves El Dick in the 1v5. Finds the first one, finds the second one. Okay. And, good flick there on the Skull Hunter. I'm a little taken aback by that one. Bomb's down, though, not really in a spot that Dick Stacy can do a lot about.
That AWP, Genuine will be doing their damnedest to either track that down or get Dick Stacy into a awkward position. But a smart play from Dick, actually. He throws the AWP over the fence and makes it uncollectible by the CT. So this will be the part of the play where essentially he just waits out more time for the team to talk in amongst themselves and then just walks into the waiting arms of the trade between 2 of the members of Genuine. And that'll be what'll happen.
Gets cleaned up, but man, that was just a really nice dick flick onto the guy in bathrooms. Great snap to get the second kill. Skull Hunter fell. That was good damage done. And of course, the AWP thrown away, as you mentioned. There's not money for one, so there isn't going to be one on the field in this round on the side of Genuine. It's just Sicko with his.
Well, if you're Genuine, you may not know that Sicko has it, but as soon as you find it on the ground, you're going to be wanting to get yourself that weapon, and Skull Hunter will be wanting his own, and Malta gets tagged up a little bit, and so does Inns from a lot of penetration and utility kills, utility usage.
We'll see where they elect to go right now. Very well spread out. And then he comes down. Does not land on anybody. So that was actually pretty close. I thought that was going to do some damage to him. But for the time being, he is A-okay. Jump will be heard. Spam comes through. Nothing yet, though. Slow round out of Grayhound for the time being.
We're wanting to sort of slow down the tempo and perhaps bank on Genuine to get a little bit testy, a little bit impatient, and maybe take advantage of that. But it looks like the bomb is rotating towards hitting the lower site. And Genuine are in decent stead to hold this off, especially with a lot of the assistance that is not physically on the side, but is coming from up top. Be up to Jinx, though, to really pull himself together, and it looks like the hit's moving on from Grayhound.
Oh, trying to find any of these kills, but it's gonna be Skull Hunter going down to Malta. Inns is gonna get this bomb down. Fuck, actually gets the roast onto Inns, and that means bomb's not down. They need to find the kills. That's not gonna happen. And it's just one man trying to escape. That's Sicko here, coming around the corner. He'll be cleaned up after time, so he is $250 for this round.
He's essentially the waif, just holding up the sign like, please, sir, spare some change. Just really awful for Sicko, especially because his economic setting is so heavily reliant on buying that AWP. That is his weapon of choice. And yeah, Grayhound are going to have to eco, but he's going to have to rely on a drop. Or even worse, maybe even just forego the AWP altogether. But a big ding on a maker and a reply swiftly to Dick Stacy. Genuine can't really afford to be complacent though, and stack up court walking around, and Inter's done the same. This is looking like it could be Genuine court dawdling maybe, and it might end up being extremely painful in terms of a rebuttal.
Yeah, they've certainly been caught with their pants down at long there. And, they may have dropped the soap in the bathrooms, as this is not going well for them. Apoc's trying to hang on to the AWP. Jinx on an M4. And, yeah, I think they're going to hear stuff going in towards A. I think they're going to think better of trying to go for this, potentially, and say, okay. Apoc likes his chances, I guess. They're going for it. Yeah, I give me as well. I mean, there's no armor on 3 of these players. The M4 is going to shred. But he might just be looking for an exit as well.
It doesn't look like they're going to fully engage. It looks like, yeah, Apoc's falling back and Jinx is doing the same. They've already completely cleared the area. And it looks like Genuine and Grayhound will not cross paths. And Grayhound will get a third off of one of the most unlikely of rounds. But I had a feeling, an inkling, haven't watched a lot of CS in this region, it would happen eventually. That perhaps the team gets a little bit too complacent and gets absolutely run over and caught napping by the opposition.
Yeah,
that's exactly what happened.
Very clean round for Grayhound there. The only person that they lost was young Richard Stacy. Yeah, was removed from the server. But when you have Deegs, that's like the only thing. You're not even hoping to win that round. You're just hoping to do some damage. And, well, the damage resulted in 3 kills in a round 1. So everything you could ask for is Apoc finds the kill on to Richard Stacy. Inns goes down to Skull Hunter as well.
And Dex eliminating Skull Hunter, but has basically alerted Genuine to their presence, and a couple of pot shots there from Apoc to perhaps try and at least tag up any of the advancement of Grayhound. And a couple of members are moving out toward the long. So A could be the call here. And Genuine are extremely stretched. They only have 2 flashbangs. And I'm pretty sure that Grayhound will be aware of the current standing of Genuine after such a stretch.
Tough spot to be in. This is an awkward scenario for all parties involved. And you start to eke this bomb through bathrooms. Will the hit come through? Apoc's coming around through the bank right now, trying to find any of these players out. Staring down just out of the bank here. So if they cross his sights, that might be a free kill. Problem is, it doesn't look like anybody is going to even try and venture that way. We've got 1 player back towards bathrooms, 2 out long. And Malta, oh, Apoc looks away just as he crosses, so that's going to be fine for the time being. 1 player is known, but can they find the remaining 2? Trying to find these kills, peeks around. Big kill there from Malta. But Malta and Sicko both go down. And in fact, down goes Dexter. It's the CZ75 on stat. And that is a big time around from Genuine.
And a big break-in from Jinx. He had 2 frags on the round, and they were basically what caused the Grayhound members to sort of scatter and become a little bit disheveled at that one. And that is Genuine winning out the half. And wow, they are stepping up big time. Yeah, I might have sung their praises a little prematurely about 4 or 5 rounds in, but they're well and truly earning their keep, and it's definitely put Grayhound and a lot of people in the community at large. I'm pretty sure it's put them on notice and made them pay a lot more attention now.
And just to answer our producer's question in my ear, no, that is not the case. Maybe you are. I don't know. But we've got the spot here coming through. As just again around Fountain right now for Grayhound. A lot of damage done early though. Dick Stacy down to 40 HP. Dexter down to 14. It's a dire spot to be in early when they really haven't done anything back. 16 damage to stat is the only damage out of Grayhound this round. However, they do have a lot of good positioning now out long as they start to eke their way through. Nestled in bathroom is APOC and Skull Hunter.
Looks like Dick Stacy is lining up a smoke towards A site. And either trying to really sort of fake, but fakes aren't really all that common on overpass just due to the nature of the map, and APOC caught Malta a little bit unawares. So that is Grayhound playing down a person, but not for too much longer. Skull Hunter is there for the trade. And Genuine might actually be able to hold on to this. We're moving into sub 30 seconds and now it's Dick Stacy gone. And Sicko in a 1 versus 3. He does have the bomb on his back. But with an AWP, you're essentially banking on the members to walk in single file. And even if Sicko, yeah, he wants nothing to do with this. The AWP is far too valuable.
Yeah, definitely the wise call to try and hang on to it here. The real problem is well, I guess with the last one, it's the way it was. They got a bit more money than I expected. However, even if they buy Kevlar with the AKs, a couple of these players are going to be short on utility.
So perhaps maybe submachine guns with utility? No, they're still wanting to go full AKs. Let their aim do the talking. I mean, with the amount of experience that you have on Grayhound at the moment, like a lot of the members that are on this team we're very familiar with. You can't really blame them. And Skull Hunter got a Molotov and an HE thrown at him. That's maybe not as tagged up as he probably would have thought, as Grayhound were probably hoping.
Slow pace again here from Grayhound. They've been a little bit hesitant in these rounds. And I'm wondering if the change of pace that they need would be just a quick hit somewhere. Speed things up, see if that does catch Genuine unprepared for a fast hit. Just an idea. Might be something worth trying. Because at 9-3, their options are looking a little bit dire right now. Again, they've done a little bit of damage across the board to 3 of these Genuine players. All they've taken is very slight lickings to Dick Stacy and Dexter.
It's not really all that much to write home about because I don't think that makes the M4s into a one-shot kill. Because it's 92, if I remember.
I think at a close enough range, it might just do the job. Again, quick, hard hit coming in here into the bomb site, and it's worked out for them. They found 3 of them. They know where Maker is. And APOC is coming around with the AWP as well. They've nestled into pretty good post plants. This is going to be difficult for Genuine. But by no means is it impossible.
But Malta will spot out APOC. And Maker might just even elect to fall off. Even with a lot of the fire going through the plywood towards nearing his position. Just doing the cartoony outline, it was whiffing right by his chest. But no damage exchange, so Inns might consider picking up the pace and trying to hunt, unless Maker steps out. It doesn't look like any engagement will take place. So that'll be another round for Grayhound now, and perhaps a march back to a 9-6 scoreline. We're in a very similar situation to what we've seen earlier on in the piece. I want to throw back to Order and Genuine on Inferno. Oh no, not Inferno. Nuke. That map's on my brain at the moment. Why is that?
Because it's a great map and we've had some bangers on it tonight would be honestly my best guess for you. I don't know. Maybe it's because there have been Molotovs and Molotovs create a mini Inferno on the map. I don't know. I can't question your logic. Your brain on a good day is skewed to me. So sometimes trying to delve too deep into your psyche can be a terrifying thing. Probably not as terrifying as delving into mine, though, to be fair.
You know what else would be terrifying? If Genuine gets a double digits. Well, they have a lesser chance of that. Especially now, Inns, Malta, Dick Stacey, and Dexter have claimed one each. And Inns will turn that into a pair. And they are halfway to a 9-6 scoreline. They only have to get one more, as opposed to two. And look at Genuine's money. It has completely disappeared.
Yeah, and one thing I've noticed too is in these last couple of rounds, Grayhound, sure they've slowed down like the beginning of the rounds again, but when they've come to the actual hits, they've come through a lot faster rather than trying to like slowly open up a bomb site. They're flying through wherever they elect to hit, and they're getting the job done with a lot of kills very quickly. It's putting Genuine on their back foot. They're not really able to respond to the pace of play, and that's giving Grayhound some of these rounds. Inns, though, does not check the corner, and he gets Meg 7 down. Now I think a quick hit here towards A is what the doctor orders. And Dexter just lurking out Fountain does find one more kill, so this site is going to be completely open. And now I think Malta even wants to get... I thought he was going to go for a very forward position there. Said he falls away. Now a kill on the stat leaves just APOC and Jinx in here, and make that just APOC is... That looked clean through his smoke. Good job, Malta. I must have rendered a little bit differently on his side, as he's found one more. 9-6 is your half. And Grayhound running it back a bit at the end there. If they can win pistol here, as they swap over to the CT side, things are looking pretty up for them.
I'd say if Greyhound's starting the right foot, like you said, start with the pistol and then win the subsequent rounds that follow, it's going to be close to, if not a tie game, and you'd be wanting to really put the foot down and finish off strong. And now we're into our second map of this best of 3 series, and it is 9 to Genuine, 6 to Grayhound, and we are going to continue on with our Dreamhack Masters Malmö Oceanic closed qualifiers here on our second map of Overpass.
Fast up con, or out con is where they're going, and Stacey's found one. He does get run over. And that's 3 big kills there out of Genuine. This should put them on double digits. It's just a question of, can Sicko find 4? That's not really a question you want to ask in any round. You never want to put the onus on a guy. It's like, yeah, hey, we're in good shape. Can you just get 4 kills here? It feels pretty dire. Not even sure if there's a kit down anywhere, and if there is, where it landed.
There wasn't a kit actually bought. It was basically armor and the util. So Greyhounded almost completely out of sorts, and Sicko knows this, so he's just wanting to get as far away as possible, and perhaps even try to trade. But who knows? Doesn't look like there might even be a get. No, they're trying to rush him down, and Stat will get the final honors, and Genuine are at double digits.
So the fun part of that one is, based on where everybody came from Grayhound, if he'd had a kit and walked through Monster, he could have ninja'd. No one was there. Like, nobody even was in remote position to deal with that. And honestly, he would have had time when he came up connector to potentially go around. Would have been tight, but no kit, so it was no problem anyways. But would have been interesting for sure.
They might be talking about that when they watch back the demo. And, oh man, if we had a kit there instead of util.
Well, they are just trying to get some spam damage done with these Deegs. Dick Stacey spamming through the wood on B. Let's drop down to 35 HP for it. And he's only down a tag of about 13, so came out on the losing end. However, he's going to hear some players up short. It means Sicko's going to move around, reposition a little bit. Spots the player close, gets gushed up. He is okay for the time being. As okay as you can be when you have a bullet go into your brain and you live.
It didn't quite hit the brain, it only went to the lower regions. And that is the scout claiming Skull Hunter. So good start from Grayhound, but it's swiftly traded out with Sicko going down, and on the back of that by APOC, you'd be safe in assuming that Genuine just want to hit the upper sight, just hit A, go through the motions, and make sure that none of these pistols are effective, and APOC's doing a good job of that so far with Dick Stacy hitting the deck, but Malta on this flank could be huge. No.
Yeah, there's two flanking players that they sussed out. Dexter was on the flank earlier, and if them got kills, it would have been absolutely massive, especially when you had the deagle of, I guess I was Dick Stacy in Optimus. Might have been Sicko and Optimus. If he got more damage off of it, would have been incredible. Enzo finds one on APOC. And is he selling? He's trying to save. Is he going to go back here? I don't think there's a kit down anywhere again. Same problem as before. But damage is what he's looking for.
Even if he doesn't get a frag, if he could try and keep the T's in the position of the bomb explosion, does tag up a few, and that actually contributes to Maker going down, so Inz will be happy with that. Especially with the fact that he got the frag with a back 10.
Yeah, you know, it's the extra $600 in the bank account as well. On the CT side, your cash is so important. Everything costs more. Your mollies are $200 more. Your rifles are $400 more. It's not a fun time trying to keep pace with a terrorist buy. So coming in here, the fact that he's even able to farm a little bit, and if you can get more this round, that would be absolutely massive. Looks like Skull Hunter's going to fly right at him, and he's going to find that kill. So that is another $600 starting to build the CT economy.
And that's exactly what you want, especially in these early stages after the change. Like you said, it's a lot more costly to have the same type of rebuttal as a T side would. With everything being more... just, you need more money to effectively be competitive as a counter-terrorist side. Because even after the extras that you have as a CT, like the diffuse kits and everything like that, things just cost more money on that side. And it's one of the core components of Counter-Strike as a whole, and you'll hear plenty of people harp on about that because of how much weight it holds. And if Sicko can hold this position and even get one, it'll be a big deal if one of the members goes out long, especially if the AK is the first to engage. That'll be the trade back. Thought Sicko would have gotten a lot more than that, but it was not to be.
Really nice dink there, though, from Dexter. Does contribute to this. He's going to be caught out. But the player that he dinked up got cleaned up by Ins with, funnily enough, the Mac 10. So that's, again, a little bit more money in his bank account. That's all you're asking for in this round, is doing a little bit of damage to the T-side economy and doing a little bit to bolster your own with the kill rewards. So he's booked 1,200, and he's going to be quite happy with that. Also trying to come back around. A couple of these players are quite lit. The first one he should engage with is Jinx, who's down at 40. That is very killable with the Mac 10. Peeks out, not able to get it. Drops him down to 17. And that leaves Dick Stacy in a smoke with a USP.
That's not going to happen. Stat will get the final frag once again with the Mac 10. And things are looking really safe and sound for Genuine so far, but now is the true test. Grayhound are ready and have basically bared their fangs. They've thrown a lot into this. Full util buy, AWP on Sicko. So Greyhound's essentially at full power, and we'll see how Genuine can withstand the counter pressure.
Yeah, this is such a pivotal round for Grayhound. Their money's pretty much gone outside of like 1,300 on ins because of those Mac 10 kills. So if they lose this round, and even if they lose a lot of players, they're not going to have much in the next round. Genuine, on the other hand, have a pretty comfortable bank just for the next round. So they need to try and win this and win it clean for Grayhound. Dropping too many players and you give Genuine a giant window to come back next round and just reset you.
And that could really, really hurt. Especially given how strained things are. And Jinx just got rained upon and ends up going down. But it's still a 2-for-2 trade in that full-blown kerfuffle near the B site. But Sicko has rolled in and made APOC sit down and sleep with the fishes in the sewer. And look at Baker. How did he not get tagged on that run around against Inns and even got the frag onto him? That was a mystery for the unexplained, but now the numbers have thinned down to Stat versus Sicko and Dexter, but this is still workable if he plays it correctly, does Stat.
Very winnable because Dexter is so very hurt. He's going to turn the flashbang. Sicko knows where he is, swings out, he wins the duel. Last player's 19 HP. This is so incredibly winnable for Stat, and this would be a huge round. He wins it! Finds the kill. It's a third for him in the round, recovers the AWP, and that might just be RIP Grayhound on Overpass. Look at the money in the bank. 4,000 on a couple of these players. It's gone. That's going to give Genuine, should give Genuine a 14th round, short of some Deagle shenanigans.
Which is very much doable. We saw that even earlier in this map. So don't think it won't happen because it always has a way. There's always a chance. And for 3, no work with that nade, sadly. So General will be left wanting. All the Greyhound members are still at full HP. Well, not anymore. Multi did get tagged up a little bit through a lot of pre-fire.
Okay, Dexter does find one. Well, he will fall as well as Dick Stacy. Couple easy kills for Skull Hunter in the end. Stat's got one too, and man, he is having himself a game. 18-6 at the moment. Skull Hunter finally falls to Inns, so 2 kills. Again, good damage. Gonna be able to recover an AK. They could actually, with the armor, that could do a lot of damage. Inns flashes himself out, sprays through, not able to land it. Molly comes down though, that sets the bomb site ablaze, meaning no plant's going to come for the time being. Sicko's going to elect to boost up Inns over this. This is so crucial. Can he find anything? No, falls off of it. Now you might want to save, but at the same time, putting them on 14-6, you kind of have to go for it. You can't start seeding too many of these rounds. With the damage done from Sicko and the kill on the APOC, this is now very workable. Coming around the corner, Sicko not able to land a D shot. Inns trying to come away. 1-on-2. Time is dwindling. No kit in sight, and the player's in heaven. This looks to be round. Surely, time is out of the question now. Stat up in heaven is going in to find the kill. Genuine grab 14.
And I was almost certain that even if the CT had survived, just buying enough time to get the Genuine players to basically get themselves fragged by the bomb radius and just force them to rebuy, that would have made things a lot more awkward. But now, Genuine are pretty much free and easy. But Greyhound, once again, at a pretty decent buy. And Sicko once again has his toy. So if Greyhound wants to mount a comeback, they're going to have to do it now. But they can't do it with Dick Stacy being so tagged up. And Jinx is as well, but Dick Stacy definitely did come up worse for wear.
Yeah, this is kind of the same story as a couple of rounds ago. Their loss bonus is a little bit better here on Greyhound, but again, nothing in the bank. You lose this round, you're coming back in with pistols at 15-6. They need to try and do this. They need to try and do it clean, and that's kind of the situation for them. Dropping too many players again, and you're looking at a pretty easy round for Genuine to try and close out the game. Everyone is grouped towards the B bomb site. Malta sitting at pillar. He has a man that's Inns sitting in pit next to him. The only 2 there. They have a lot of work to do. Probably not going to be able to hold the site, but they just need to do enough damage that their teammates can come in and retake. Flashbang goes in, catches up Skull Hunter and Jinx. That keeps Inns alive. Malta pushes through the smoke. He's on the first kill. Sitting around, flashed up again, but he's going to be cleaned up. And now Sicko and Dexter, 2-on-4 retake. Damage done quite heavily. That nade is also going to drop someone down half HP. But I think Dexter and Sicko realize the situation, the gravity of the spot that they're in. They are going to cede map point and save this weaponry if they can. APOC's already coming up connector. That should be a kill for Sicko. In fact, it is. Gets it through the wall. Turns around, though, and Skull Hunter finds the kill on the site. Dexter's going to try and go down con, and he has a tall task ahead of him.
He does have.
He's actually got enough time. If he gets in here, he could ninja. No, he's not going to go for it.
I don't think so, and it'd be far too risky, especially given the weapon they just picked up. Sure, it's not the AWP of Sicko, but it's still a Krieg, which has a very high value, especially right now, where Grayhound have to rally to even force OT, and that scavenge weapon is going to have to pay off dividends from here on out. And look at this. 2 M4s, the Scout on Sicko. He loves his long range and his scoped weapons. And the MP9 on Dick Stacy and Dexter with the Krieg. He basically has to do a good chunk of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, I mean, Grayhound, they're still looking for their first round of the second half. If you remember, the half ended at 9-6, and Sicko going down to Skull Hunter, that's not going to do it. The remaining players, they are rushing their way up along. They're moving pretty quick. Okay, they've slowed down now. But they have got a lot of long control. Dick Stacy's trying to spot it out from the APC. He's going to have Malta coming around to join him. They are aware that it feels like an A hit. They're going to boost Malta over the smoke. This needs to go huge. Is he going to be spotted up? Sprays through, finds one. Falls off of it. Nade comes in. That nade! Oh, it's not going to get the kill. I thought it was going to do enough to stat. Still, though, drops him down to 30. Gives them a window as their teammates rotate over. Peeks out, another big tag on the stat. He's 9 HP. Somehow he's still alive. Dick Stacy, though, is there with the SMG. Peeks out, doesn't find it. It's actually stat going down to his teammates, Molly. However, the kills, they still go to Genuine so far. Malta's got one. Jinx, 1v2. Trying to close out the map. Trying to send it to Nuke, the third map. And Grayhound just trying to stay alive. As he comes around the corner here, he realizes one is probably in bank, but the feed are caught by Malta. And Grayhound finally grab their first round and keep themselves alive.
And they really need to do that. That crucial frag near bank was what basically turned the entire tide of war after that basically 30 or 40 second sequence. Basically because that bomb had dropped right at his feet, it gave Grayhound so much power in terms of holding a defense, and it made a clutch not impossible, but such a tall task when the CT has that piece of information, the bomb's position. When they have that in their hands, it's nigh on impossible, or extremely difficult to be able to break that hold when the CT gets it. But now, Grayhound are not exactly sitting pretty either. They have to win outright. And it took them this long to even get one round, like you were saying.
And their money, again, it's not in a great spot. So, losing too many players puts you in a rough spot. Malta, though, with the spray through finds two, and that's something that they haven't really found early. They haven't been getting these opening picks. So winning a couple opening duels is huge for them. Dexter is going to fall. Stabilizes to a 4-on-3. They try and come around the corner. Malta's so close, he doesn't find either of those players. Now Maker's got one more. Not like this, Mr. Lutz. Surely not like this. 3-on-2, but the health is so poor on Genuine. Dick Stacy might be the hero just with the SMG. They find one more. It's a Maker. 1v2. Finds Dick Stacy. He knows where Inz is, but Inz is going to win the 1v1. It keeps Grayhound alive by the skin of their teeth.
And, oh, those teeth will be salivating after that. Sure, we're getting to the point where it doesn't really matter how many stay alive, just so long as you scratch and claw and get your way back to basically to a decent record, and even better if you get it to OT. So it doesn't matter now how Grayhound get these rounds, just so long as you get them. So it could be just the veteran's instinct and, well, the instinct of, well, the Rabbit Hounds, their namesake. They might just basically take advantage of this opportunity and keep that aggression at a fever pitch, and that might be enough to overwhelm the likes of Genuine. And Skull Hunter in a 1 versus 5 might just be wanting to get a parting word. Can't really do that. Gets run over by Dexter with the MP9. And thank you for the Tech 9s. That is a big turn.
Like, they needed a clean round to do something for their money. They needed that. They were going to be battling their money for so long in this half. A few more clean rounds would be incredible. As you can tell, it's still not great. Most rich players ends at 2,800. So they're still up against it here, but they've got a window, giving themselves a chance, and that's all you're looking for. All you can ask for at this point, really, is just hope.
Inns will eliminate Jinx. So perhaps it was the turn of the tide a little earlier, where Grayhound basically said, "Yeah, we've had enough. We'll just go desperation." It's essentially, if anybody's played Marvel vs. Capcom, especially X Factor, and you just turn into a huge self-healing, huge damage outputting behemoth that is tough to put down, and perhaps Grayhound just wanted to administer their own touch of death. A little bit of an awkward exchange between Malta and Stat, but Stat will definitely come out worse for wear on that one.
Oh, Dexter, another nice kill there onto Skull Hunter. He is in so much trouble. Tries to drop the smoke, gets caught out. But again, the fact that he's got man advantage for his team is a pretty good spot to be in. Inns was going to rotate out, thinks better of it. So I think Malta did spot Stat out, and now he's going to get the kill there. We'll see. Do they rotate off of this? Maker's already down Con. He's got his boy A-Pocket top Con. And they're going to commit to the A-bomb site. I think. This could just be fake smokes.
Well,
they're committing now.
No, they're definitely committing, because look at the clock. We're moving down to sub 10 seconds. And if one of the members goes down for Genuine, it's pretty much kaput. And Maker, he'll have to step out. He does get the frag from Optimus. And Maker does end up claiming one. But once again, Grayhound, they scratch one together and they are on double digits. And if you're on the side of Genuine can't really warrant a buy-in at this current juncture. Aside from a PC-50 Ed, a couple PC-50s and a Deagle. Yes, we've seen plenty of heroics, but this could be a round given up and Grayhound going to 11.
Oh man, the util damage is huge. Stat down 14, APOC 41. This round feels like it might just be a bit of a formality. It feels like we're going to see a 15 to 11 for Grayhound.
Definitely, and that's what Grayhound are really wanting to do. They're definitely not strangers to this type of situation in the past. Even not with this core, but them as players on their own. They're definitely been around the tracks and have been journeymen throughout this scene, and they've likely been in much worse situations than this. So, just really wanting to test their mettle. And Genuine also getting a test of their own as to whether they can close this out properly and go to a third map.
I hate that you said being around the tracks, because now I have Gwen Stefani stuck in my head, so thank you for that one. Stat falls. Let's see if the remaining three players can even get a kill. Maker with the D is their best opportunity at it. Dexter tagged heavily, but he's got Sicko backing him up. He will find one. That's all he's got. Does he have any more? It's the reload. Peeks back up. Stacy's got it. 15-11. Grayhound. They're alive. I'm not gonna use a certain word, but they are in a lot better shape than they were. That's 5 in a row now for them. The problem: max loss bonus on Genuine. These don't get easier. It's buy after buy after buy for Genuine.
You've only gone through the first part of the boss. Now's the real true test. You know, when they just like double in size and hit twice as hard.
Yeah, it's no longer Bowser, it's Giga Bowser.
Exactly. And a strong start. Maybe not a frag, but a lot of damage on the Sicko. That's put him on notice. That's forced him to perhaps play a little bit more of a passive position.
Dexter, no!
And Dexter going down is a big deal. And Maker's looking to really capitalize off of that. And Grayhound will have to really consider their options now, which will be a lot more limited now with Dexter now no longer a part of the fray.
On Sicko, not able to connect much of a tag on the Skull Hunter. This is getting harder and harder by the moment. If you missed what happened to Dexter, is he, actually, Sicko, not able to find that one. He falls. Dick Stacy tucks in to Car. This could be it. This could be the decider. Dick Stacy finds one, finds two. Big set of kills. Can he swing and find one more? That's what he needs. It's going to be Jinx speaking from long. He's got the kill, but Malta's got the trade again. Inns is in truck. And Inns has one more kill. Inns gets it too. Grayhound, they stay alive. But what happened to Dexter and why I sounded a little sad about that one is there was a big flashbang that came from Long. He peeked out of Longside bathrooms, had two players blinded up, and did like a bullet to each of them and didn't find a kill. And I thought, as soon as the flashbang came in, I was convinced Dexter was getting two in that spot.
Ooh, you really hate to see that type of situation play out when you get an engagement basically handed to you, and it all just falls apart in your hands. You definitely don't like to see it, but
doesn't matter though. They won the round, so
genuine
big run back because of Inns and Malta. Credit to those two.
All of course, and well, dare I say, it was an insane play. Two to basically hang on to the game and keep their chances of getting out to 2-0 map score. And we were discussing before we went on air that Genuine basically had their ticket in, but they had to win the opening map. Now, maybe not so much. It's more a situation of can Genuine finally push through to a third map, because this has been a little bit of a common trait for a lot of these teams. They get to 15, but then just try and try, but they can't figure out the final piece of the puzzle to close
here's the
things
good
up.
news. They're about to hit A, and there's only two people there. Yes, one of them Sicko with the AWP, and he's got a big first shot. But this is such a difficult spot to be around. But Sicko's got another one. However, they both fall. There is, however, because of that late kill, big man advantage right now for Grayhound. And the bomb is a mile away. Stats had to run back and get that. And if Malta comes up connector with the right timing, might catch him out. This is going to be so close. Swings, but Malta loses the duel. And they are going to go towards B. No, they're not. They have to commit. They don't have time. Dick Stacy's falling away, and I think he's might have run amok. If Inns can drop the bomb, this will be the round. Bomb is going to start to go down. Inns has the kill. It's too late. The time wasn't there. Grayhound, they lose the player, but they win the round. And now two rounds away, and we go to overtime. Maybe.
That was just off the top of my head. That would have been 1/10 or 2/10 of a second off of a bomb plant for Genuine and a potential round win. Ooh, that's really gonna hurt. And now on the back of Stat, he does have the AWP. There's no armor though. There's nothing but deagles, and they're really going to have to act on heroics on the side of Genuine and the AWP of Stat. That is a good start, eliminating Malta early on to bring things all square. But he did take a lot of damage for it. He's down to 24.
Yeah, don't throw the op over to APOC. I'm not even sure I like this spot right now that they're trying to go in. They try to go a little bit quicker towards B, and just the utility that came in so early in that round didn't work out in their favor.
APOC has to frag here. He has to. When he swings out from Monster, he has to nail a CT right in the face. Whiffs just high and right. And doesn't quite get it. That's going to put the Genuine members in a really awkward position, but they don't have a choice. They really have to put the foot down and bank on a deagle shot to go. And looks like the M4 has been traded out by Stat and does get the kill. So an M4 and an AWP versus three members of Grayhound. And the bomb is still down on the side of the hill. So it'll just be fragger power. Stat with a third. He might be able to make a go of this. And now the bomb, I believe, is back in their hands. Yes, it's on the back of Stat. And Stat is now gone. Sicko did the deed. And now it is a 1 versus 2. Running into 15 seconds. And Sicko caught mid-change, but it doesn't matter. APOC will be given the marching orders. And we are going the distance on map number 2. 30 rounds, Mr. Morrison. And Grayhound have basically turned into devil dogs and have run right through Genuine. And despite the round loss bonus for Genuine, they can't quite put it all together. And they do have one last shot before it all starts again.
Oh, and it was close there. There was a chance, but APOC, unfortunately, he got hit with the Gary Anderson syndrome. Any Buffalo Bills fans, any Minnesota Vikings fans will know what that one is. But yeah, missing wide right when it matters most. Just not what you want. 14-15.
Definitely not. And sure, there was only a small part of his head, but it would have definitely been enough for that AWP there to really take advantage. But now, both teams have a lot to prove. Sure, Grayhound is slightly short-handed in terms of weaponry, but hey, you've got the basically the manpower of Dixita and Inns moving in on a 30 bomb at 25 and 17. There's been 3 just going as a unit, and a couple of members of Grayhound. They seem to be dragging the chain in terms of the numbers alone, but they've been playing a lot of parts in terms of recon and just basically relaying information that have made this comeback possible for them.
Now, here's the thing. Going into Nuke, if we go there, how heartbreaking round would this be to lose? Skull Hunter comes out, finds a kill onto Dick Stacy, and they're going to find a kill onto Inns. It's looking like that's going to be the case. Multifalls as well. It's a 2-on-5. They come all the way back. They bring it down to round 30. 2v5 trying to come back through. Grayhound, they're running out of chances. They may have just missed the boat as we're looking to go to Nuke is the decider. Dexter, Sicko, what can they do?
Who really knows, but they're really running short on time. That bomb has been ticking for quite a while. If Sicko can get a frag, no, he will not. He'll be bombarded on all sides. Jinx will get the final pair, and that will be 16-14 to Genuine on the map choice of Grayhound, and we shall be going to Nuke to decide it all. And Mr. Morris said it was a roller coaster of emotions and a absolutely blistering run from Grayhound, but they just fall oh so short at the finish line, and that last effort sadly did not pan out for them. So we are tied at 1 apiece, and we go into our final map of Nuke, and we shall be brought to a brief intermission, and we shall return very shortly. You're watching CappingTV's coverage of the Dreamhack Masters Malmö Oceanic Closed Qualifiers.
We have been to many places, shared many moments, but it's time to come back to the place where it all began.
Oh my God, Justy, you've got to be kidding! He's got the ball down, Flamey. He knows where he is. What? It's got Dane. He's done from tracking.
Welcome to Malmö.
We have been to many places, shared many moments, but it's time to come back to the place where it all began.
On now, Lucas comes charging in. Oh, my God, Justy, you've got to be kidding! He's got the ball down, Blamey. He knows where he is. What? It's got Dave. He's done from tracking.
Welcome to Malmö.
So, I just had something incredibly scary happen to me. I had a giant snap come by, and it's because I have a rat trap outside, and that just went off. At least I'm guessing that's what the snap of was. And speaking of incredibly scary, that's what you have to be feeling for both Genuine and Grayhound right now, as we are here for the Dreamhack Malmö 2019 Oceanic Closed Qualifiers. I'm Graham Morrison, joined by Justin Lutz, aka I'm Graham Cass, he's Cyberwaste. Map 1 went to Grayhound, was 16-12, not bad. Overpass looked like it was going to be a haranguing. Genuine were on cruise control. They were crushing them. It was like 15-6, and then it finishes 16-14. Grayhound started to show their fangs. They started to show a window back into that game. And now we head to Nuke, where Genuine have to be feeling a little bit shaky off the back of that Overpass game. And Grayhound, they got to be feeling damn good. Cyberwaste, do you have a prediction on this one? Do you have any inkling, any feeling as to how this is going to go?
Ooh. It's a quite an interesting situation that we have here, isn't it? Because both of these teams just had like marathon sets. So we had the previous two maps and Genuine that I believe were forced to 3 against Order. And Grayhound had a different way in. They basically just ran over their opponent in the opening round, and they weren't truly tested. They've been truly tested now. So now Grayhound, with their new recruit, mind you, being ins, they'll be looking to really make an impression and hopefully stop Genuine's marathon run, because they've really impressed me here on out, even with the previous set, and especially during this last map. They've really put Grayhound on notice, and maybe the scene as a whole moving into other competitions.
And, you know, worth noting is just kind of what stage we're at for this series, for this event. This is one of the upper bracket semifinals. Loser of this gets bumped down to the lower bracket. That's just how upper brackets work. Winner of this punch their ticket into a duel with Chiefs in the upper bracket final. And with the way that Chiefs played, and the way that Texta specifically popped off, that's a scary prospect, because these teams are showing weaknesses, they're showing cracks, and if Chiefs are on point, they could get bounced down to the lower bracket. Either of these teams.
And with the way that these two teams have been playing, being bounced in the lower bracket, that is looking like a extremely scary proposition, because there will be, at least I believe this part of the bracket will be moving towards playing either, I think it's Avant, whoever loses this match. And still, they just made Chiefs fight extremely hard for it. But now, the third map's underway, and Grayhound are on the T side, and Genuine are your CTs, and Grayhound's wasting no time. They're moving a whole bunch towards ramp, and one's just moved down towards the vents.
Big shots coming through with the USPs, trying to connect the Skull Hunter. Actually, it's on the CZ, finds a pair. Make that a trio for him. 3 kills with the CZ. That's not how that's supposed to work. And 1 clip. I don't even think he reloaded. Good for him and making a 4K. Did reload for that one. But a 6 set of CZ kills out of Skull Hunter. And to answer your question, you mused as to who would be the next matchups. There are still 2 lower bracket games that need to be played. Jade versus Order and Bizarre versus Catman. So I believe the loser of this and Avant are the 2 higher seeds. So the winner of those 2 games would go on to play Avant or the loser of this one.
That is very, very true. I don't know why, but I sort of thought that those matches had already taken place, but I'd gotten my times mixed up. That's all on me.
Easy enough to get ahead of yourself, especially when we're so tantalized by the game at hand. SMGs, 3 of them on the side of Genuine. The bomb site is being swarmed. Will the bomb go down? Yep, not going to be able to be stopped there. However, tough task trying to deal with Skull Hunter in this FAMAS. Pulls out the CZ, gets another 4K. So, Mr. Skull Hunter is on 8 kills. He has played 2 rounds. He has not died.
No. And he's living up to his name once again. And I've mentioned, I'd be safe to say ad nauseum now, that Skull Hunter is definitely one of my players to watch. And it's efforts like those opening 2 rounds. Sure, the second round was against players that weren't as well equipped. Still, strong showing to start, 8-0. And now Grayhound, they really want to get a swift rebuttal, and they're more than equipped to do so.
Oh, big nades. Malta's down 8 HP. Hasn't seen anybody. That's not what you want to be if you're Malta. And Dick Stacy getting mowed down by Stat on the MP9. Also not where I want to be. This is a bonus round, and it's working out. FAMAS gets a kill. The MP9s have 3 of them, and it's just the aforementioned Malta on 8 HP. Don't like his chances here. Swings out, catches a reload. Trying to do anything, but he'll be mowed down. It's a team ace out of Genuine. That was a round that had 3 MP9s.
Yep,
3 MP9s.
Yep, and that is exactly what you'd want when you're a CT, because you have more money to play with. And we'll keep saying this, things are a lot more difficult when you have to manage a CT economy. And they've also got a bonus run now, because look at Greyhound's coin. They have to save. There's 2 armors and a couple smokes, maybe a nade. They're looking to get a bomb plant out of this round.
Yeah, and there is Stat on the MP9 that gives them a chance to farm. Sicko, Inza, Malta, none of them have armor. But it looks like Greyhound might have a set piece in mind. There's 3 smokes, which were purchased into this round. So it looks like they're probably going to be trying to cross outside. I reckon that's where these smokes are going to land. They haven't thrown them quite yet, though. They're taking their sweet time, as one does.
They're starting to get in a position to throw them, though, and it looks like that is the cue to go. See them and their trails just sailing across, and Genuine have definitely caught on to this. They've mollied
There's
off
a slight gap.
Yeah.
It's punishable, but it doesn't seem to be punished. Hey, Fuck, though, will find the kill on Malta. He tried to get adventurous around with the smokes. He tried to get cute. I respect the attempt. Now Stat wisely has nestled himself into the bomb site. MP9 in hand, like I said before, will shred, especially with 2 of the players left alive, still have no armor. There's a chance for him. We'll see if they overlook his position. They're starting to come around. 2 of them go through control, but he is just going to sit, lying in wait. Peek out now, finds the bomb. Drops down, finds in, 1 more to find. That's Sicko, swaps over to the USB, got the kill. Stat with the 4K in the round. And once again, shutting down Greyhound Gaming early here on Nuke. It's a 4-0 lead. But we saw that they had a 4-0 lead back on Overpass as well.
That is true, but you haven't had an absolute flurry of 4Ks leading up to that either. So that could be the theme number of the day. This map is brought to you by the number 4.
And for those of you tuning in, expecting to see our coverage of the safe game, and ESCA. We will be coming to that series or those games as soon as this series is over. This one has just been a bit of a banger, going to a third map in a bit of an unexpected fashion. It's been far closer than either of us would have expected. So that's why we're still here on this game. Because, I mean, I wouldn't leave, would you?
Neither would I, especially with just how much is actually riding on this game. If Genuine end up, even if they don't win this match, if they end up cutting it tight with Alexa Grayhound, it'll be a huge, huge uptick in support for Genuine. And this is just starting as they need to go on. Stat and APOC will open the frag-a-thon, and Grayhound have not had an answer as of yet. I don't think there's only been 3 frags in what is now 5 rounds for Grayhound on the T side. And sure, it's Nuke. You usually give this more to the CTs, but still, I've seen, as of late, the Ts have much better luck compared to the Nuke of old. And this is not how you start.
Yeah.
We'll keep going.
Oh, great. This is not the way that you're hoping to start out if you are a Grayhound fan. But there's still always a chance. It's early. You know, you can go on a run. They won like 10 straight rounds back on, I guess it was 9 straight on Overpass. You do that here, you're looking at a 9-5, 9-6 half, 10-5 half. And, you'd be pretty happy with that. However, with Maker finding 1, APOC's got 2 more. This does not look to be the case in this round, that's for sure. Inns and Malta left alive, and they're both very, very uncomfortable. Make that now Inns alone. Deeg in hand finds 1. That was a very quick 1, Deeg.
That was quick and snappy. Stat doesn't know what hit him. And, well, sure, the bomb's down, but at least Inns will try and just make Genuine at least throw a little bit of money away, but look at the coin that's on Genuine. Speaking of which, we have 4 members, excuse me, in 5 digits, and 1's hit the cap. That being Stat.
And I guess all worth noting and worth plugging, while we did have the stream dip briefly, we are always looking for people keen to do production here at CappingTV. So you can absolutely reach out if that's something that you think is interesting to you, you'd like to do some observing, do some stream producing. You can always reach out to Mitch or just ping the guy named CappingTV in chat. You would also look for casters as well if you want to give it a go.
If you enjoy the games and like to tell stories, give casting a go. I could definitely vouch for that. And now we're moving around number 7. Greyhound's still looking to put up a rebuttal, and their frag total's still looking a little bit worse for wear, and Maker had all day to dispatch Dexter, and Skullhunter catches Malta mid-throw, and that is not what you'd want when you are a T just trying to set something up. And finally is able to get a reply.
Still, though, man advantage for Genuine. And they are looking genuinely terrifying here with the start that they're having. A blistering start. But they need to get the job done. Looks like it is going to be A, and the move into lobby right now. They're close to lobby. Might catch Greyhound completely off guard. They hear that Dick Stacy is in Squeaky. Realize these players are going to be coming back around, and if they overlook this mini spot, Dick Stacy swings it. They line up. He only finds 1, but they don't expect Skull Hunter there with them. Stats got him in the back. 7-0 Genuine.
And whoa, I'm still sort of trying to digest all of this. So we knew going in that Genuine were really hitting their stride, but I still wasn't expecting Greyhound to be at so much of a loss, and Genuine.
Wait. Hold on. I hate to get you off, but I just hit tab. Skull Hunter is 14-0.
He has not perished
2
yet.
KD not died. Makers died once. Everyone else on the team, they died twice. The kills, they're just not coming for Grayhound at all. Dexter doesn't even have one yet. Malta and Dick Stacy have one each. What's going on?
It might be a little bit of a slow to start, but we saw that on Overpass. One of the teams might take a while to start, and then things might actually taper off. But yeah, I'll be honest, even considering that, I wasn't expecting it to be this dire from Grayhound this early on. Woo! And Skullhunter just slapstick Stacy out of the server, just tells him to sit down. And golly, this is a genuine that has taken a brand new form, and I would be terrified if I was any of the Australian scene and watching genuine in their current state. I'd definitely be taking notice.
Oh, but Malta rips the head off Stat, and that might be the opening that they need. Skull Hunter, though, is close towards B right now, as is APOC. The AWP is there. Jinx gets a trade. Pop shot misses from APOC. Skull Hunter trying to find it. Trying to convert on anything. These players coming from rampant. Skull Hunter's got another. He will finally perish, though. First death of the game.
And that will be that, and the bomb will be down now. With just enough time. There was a little bit of turn back from it. I thought it would have perhaps backfired, but it's okay. Now it's a 1 versus 2 for APOC, but he does have the orb, and the orb is such an awkward weapon to breach this site where they'd basically be banking on a pair of jewels, and that is the goose egg broken by Grayhound. But still, it's only so much of a tougher climb now because of how much coins build up, but Jinxman has been withdrawn down to $50, so that's just a start of a turning of the tide for Grayhound.
Test 1, 2. Am I still a robot?
Hello, hello.
Oh, sweet. Yep, apologies. Occasionally I do get a case of the robots. Rip me.
We may have to call you the Graham 1000, a leader of the robot uprising.
2000! I'm at least an upgraded model, please.
Oh, come on, we're moving into chronologics. You get a sequel, but you don't get it for another 10 years.
Yeah, but again, as I was saying, apologies. I'm casting from Canada. It's 3:30 a.m. I'm doing it just because I love the Australian scene. So occasionally, the fact that I'm pinging servers in Australia, you occasionally get a bit of the robot gremlin. This round, one has fallen for genuine, but they don't expect Stat. Is he gonna knife him? Knife him! Knife him! Knife him! Knife him!
He's
thinking about it.
Decides to go against the maps. Even the changing of him whipping his knife out, would that have made a sound and alerted him? Maybe that would have done it. That's the smart choice. Either way, not really paying off as much as you'd like, and the bomb is now down for Grayhound, and Dick Stacy will eliminate Jinx, and that is traded back. Almost got in a second, but that 20-round magazine and that suppressed M4 has undone many a run, and Dexter and Sicko have towed the line, and Grayhound have started their run. Well, it's less of a run and more of a sprint, but hey, they might actually just find a pace that doesn't exert them out too much, and they might be able to find a more leisurely pace.
I'm surprised that you're calling it a sprint. I'd equate it more to, like, they decided to get out of bed and put pants on to go get the newspaper.
I did that completely in the wrong order and tried to backtrack.
Yeah, but, you know, what kind of a co-caster would I be if I just let you get away with that?
I let you get away with a ton of
you.
We both got away with Id's puns for the opening map and a half, so...
I mean, I didn't really get away with them. I just got yelled at by my producer every time I said one. Stop. Stop. Please stop. And now he's telling me to stop making fun of him. Speaking of stopped, Stat found a kill onto Inns, but he was quickly stopped by Dick Stacy. Dexter also run to a halt because of an APOC AWP shot. Again, a man advantage for Genuine as they try and put their 8th on the board and clinch the half in only 10 rounds. And with a big quick scope there from APOC, you got to believe it. Skull Hunter's got one more. Dick Stacy, 1v4. What can Richard do?
Well, it's going to be a Herculean task for a man of his girth and his stature. But still, not out of the realm of possibility, but there is one big crucial piece of information. All of Genuine know where the bomb is, and they're essentially saying, dare you to step out. He will happily oblige, and Maker will say, yeah, that's enough. He puts up the metaphorical stop sign and tells him to stop advancing. And that is the half one out in 10 rounds by Genuine. We go into 11, and Grayhound, they're back on the struggle bus, it would look like.
Yeah, they just threw up the old stop sign, or as it says in Montreal, instead of stop, it just says carry price. And now down events, Skull Hunter goes, seeing if they can stop this questionable buy from Greyhound in Malta. Well, just call it what it is. A headshot from Skull Hunter, picking him away.
That will be 2 being traded back, and Genuine just being broken apart. Much like Carey Price in the previous season, and that'll be up to Stat and Maker to battle back. But the bomb is now down, and Maker is out and on the casualty sheet. And now it's Stat in a 1 versus 2. He's had some good showings, but he might elect to go and save unless he can get a drop on Sicko. But that's exactly what happened. He was expecting a buddy to be with him, and Dexter does not even let the smoke plume. A third for Greyhound. And yet again, Genuine in a little bit of the doldrums. And a pause has been called.
So, I'm trying to think here. I'm running numbers in my head. Trying to think what the best option would be here. Like, it's not a great buy for Genuine, so obviously Greyhound's buying like into this with pretty good confidence. They should probably realize that it's not an amazing buy. Trying to figure out where you put Jinx with the noob tube, the XM 1014. I'm not entirely sure like where the best way of doing it is. Probably on top of Hut.
That's the only place I can really think of that could be
I
really
guess
effective.
You could tuck him in behind the silos on A. APOC though, not a good start to the round. He's instantly deleted. He got a tag into Malta, but he really needed to convert that kill. AWP's gone. That's their best tool. As B is getting hit hard and fast.
And a lower side hit with this type of speed, Genuine, they're going to have to play passive and play for retake, or even off of the back of that one frag, they might even have to peel off and say that it's a no-go. And it looks like that's exactly what's happening. Genuine want no part of this and are trying to get as far away as possible. They're moving all the way towards T-spawn. And I'm pretty sure Greyhound will catch wind of this. And it has been sent out on Dude Patrol. And we'll see if anything actually comes of it.
Well, Rippins, he's gone. Gives the AK over, so can't complain there. Because I'm just trying to figure out, I wasn't paying close attention to what weapon he had. I don't know if you noticed what Jinx dropped to pick up the AK.
I think it might have been...
Didn't he just have a CZ that round? So that might have just been giving him a gun.
Yes, I think he might have skipped out. We're losing. We're sort of starting to.
Aye, Peronius says he had the new tube. God bless Peronius. Casted earlier today, and he's done a great job holding down Twitch chat and catching some things and fact checking me if I need him to find something. So hats off to the beautiful lab. Give him a follow at Peronius.
Yep,
He's a good guy.
It's very shiny. And speaking of shining on, that is what Grayhound will be wanting to do. And then looking a little bit tagged up, a little worse for wear, but you could say the same for Genuine, and you definitely can now that Stat has been taken away from the land of the living. And Inzel actually claim APOC as well. So, oh goodness me, Sicko! Engaging his trademark mode is almost getting taken down, but is probably dealt with by Malta. But golly me, Sicko, man. You can't be doing that on a regular basis. People are gonna notice. And Dick Sace has been taken out as a party gift, but Ids is gonna have all the time in the world to get rid of him, and that will be that. Grayhound will be on 5 now, and Genuine, they don't have a choice. They either have to do a pistol buy, or they're just gonna have to cop one of the G. It looks like they're moving towards the small util and Deagle buy.
Pause, though, coming down. So I think it's a discussion on how they want to use this small weaponry. Shout out to Skull Hunter again. He had that blistering start to the map. He's up to 18-4. Stats not terribly far behind him at 13-7. They're the only players in the server in double-digit kills right now. However, here's the fun one. I always love when this is the case. Bottom fragger on Genuine is jinxed. The 3 and 4 fraggers, though, are Maker and APOC at 9 kills. Both of those players would be top on Grayhound right now.
That's the omen that they'll have to wake up from. And if Sicko can keep going the way that he has, especially over that last round, split frag that nowhere. Malta caught in a bit of an awkward change. And Stat and Maker have put the pistols to use. So it's definitely tagged up Grayhound quite a bit, and if that's actually huge, that AK that's just been picked up by both APOC and Maker, that's made things very, very awkward, especially with Sicko, who has the AWP. He is tagged up heavily, and heavily as well.
Big advantage for Grayhound is the fact that there isn't any armor on those players. The downside, AK is still one-shot headshot, as Dick Stacey quickly found out right there.
Yeah, nothing more gratifying than finding out firsthand. Yeah, AK's hurt. And they hurt a lot.
Well, coming out of heaven right now. APOC is near...
APOC might have spotted it. He might have spotted it. He'd actually just moved up towards the vents and looked up towards heaven.
Oh,
he
look at the flank.
Relayed this, and Maker just takes advantage of that perfectly. And now it's Sicko in a 1 versus 3. And note that Sicko is tagged as all hell. And that smoke is going to alert Genuine. But nobody's moved on it. And now, with the digits going down, it's definitely called the cavalry. And APOC will do the honors. So 9 now for Genuine. And that round was crucial for both sides. But you'd say even more valuable now that Genuine have wrestled it from the grasp of Grayhound. Now, the penultimate round of the first half of the final map, and Malta, what was that? He threw a Molotov and it bounced off the truck. Was that a misbuy?
And burned his teammate, don't forget that part. Okay, Skull Hunter and Stat, nice pair of kills right outside. Dexter's gonna try and answer and gets another shot onto APOC. Wasn't able to connect with the AWP. Malta's found Stat. 3-on-3.
Yeah, but in terms of HP, it's 3 versus 2 and a little bit extra. Not really all that valuable, but a little bit of a whiff there. That might end up being costly, as Malta in a 1 versus 3 against Genuine in the CT side. And Skull Hunter will have that all day. At 21-5 half for him going into the change. 10-5 in favor of Genuine as they move on to their terrorist side. And Grayhound will move over to the CT side. And we shall continue our coverage of the Dreamhack Masters Malmö qualifiers for Oceania. And You're watching it here on CappingTV. My name is Justin Lutz, aka Cyberwest, and I'm joined by Graham Morrison, aka Graham Casts. And for those that were expecting an ESEA matchup to be broadcast, we ran a little bit long with this set. We've been really enjoying it, so we shall bring you the next one that is on our ticket as soon as this is done. And now we move into the final pistol round of this set.
And I'm just gonna shamelessly say I'm getting close to a milestone on Twitter, so I would love some follows on that at Graham Casts. See if we can break 650 tonight. Close by. But flying right out here, Grayhound has a pair of kills from Inns. Dexter's got one more. Sicko has one too. Apoc alone 1v3. Feels that Dick Stacy might be coming around behind him. Spots him out, but Dick Stacy's got the kill.
Greyhound definitely needed that one to fall to them, and even better, it was rather efficient too. I think they only lost 2 or even 3. You'd limit it at 3 in this early stage.
So these SMGs should be able to farm some cash. It's just Glocks, single P250. They wait out the HE. Smart by them. Can they do it though? Can they find the kills that they need, or is it just gonna be? Can they find any damage really? Because with the money on Greyhound, even though they'll farm some with the SMGs, they can get a kill or two. It'd be very large. Instead, it's just a meat grinder. Maker's found 1 with the Glock. He's taken out by Sicko. Dexter found 3 with the SMG. Sicko got 2 of them though, so that's not a ton of money that could have been grabbed. They left about $600 on the board. Forces some rebuys, and you'll notice that the economy is not amazing for Greyhound again. And the weaponry, bit of a bonus round, pretty subpar. AKs on the side of Genuine, give them a chance.
Definitely will, especially knowing the starting rounds for a couple of the members of Genuine. Maybe they can repeat those efforts moving forward, but Sicko has always been a savant with scoped weaponry, and maybe wanting to put that on display, especially with the strong angles that can be held on the CT side of Nuke, especially moving odd plays that more focus towards the outer edges of the map, especially towards Secret.
Oh man, Skull Hunter finding that kill. His aim has just been super spicy this map. He's up to 23 and 7. Drops down to the SMG. Will fall. Inns is still there, but gets caught through the smoke by Jinx. There's a player deep in CT spawn that was spotted out by Jinx. Well, he's going to come in. Swings out. Jinx has it. 2-man advantage. Last 2 players, though. Look at the positioning right now out of them from Greyhound. One of them's heard by Maker. Maker spots out the other one. They know everything. And Maker has those kills. 11-7 Genuine lead. And this is the 3rd map of the series. Don't forget, this is the upper bracket semi-finals. They're working... Either of these teams are trying to work to punch their ticket for a date with Chiefs. Map 1, Inferno, went to Greyhound 16-12. Map 2, Overpass, was Genuine's 16-14. And if Genuine can steal Nuke away here, that would be an incredible upset from a team that was just in Berlin for the major.
And Genuine will definitely assert a status and put their hand up and say, "Oi, we're here, and we are to be feared." Because no matter what the team, if the team is good enough to go to a major, that is a major target on your back. And if you get the heat put on you and you can't stand it by a bunch of presumably new combatants, that might hurt. Speaking of hurting, there was a lot done with basically no investment from the side of Greyhound, and Genuine might be left a little bit a daze with only Maker and Stat left standing. But the only upside as of now is none of the weaponry is safe, at least to my knowledge, to be acquired by the side of Greyhound yet.
Keyword there that you did say, yet. Do they expect ins in garage? Do they expect him point blank? His stat is going to walk into that any second now. I think he sees ins up in heaven. Sprays out one. He's going to get stabbed in the back. Got in the back. Turns around. Not able to find it. And now Maker in the 1v4. Good news is, no armor, just USPs. In theory, a very winnable spot to be in even 1v4. Finds one. Finds good damage on the second. Two of these players are already lit up. But 13 seconds, there's no time. He can't even get to B. He's got to save. And, alright. What a time to be alive. Here's one coming down vents. 4 seconds, can't plant. Finds the first kill. Can he stay alive? Yeah,
that'll be priority number
weapons.
1. Yeah. And they do end up grabbing the weapons, but that fear, until there was the final member of Genuine Sanity, there was still a fear through the Grayhound ranks, and it's entirely justified. You can't go and pick up those weapons until it is completely safe to do so. And now, off of the back of a round like that, that's left Genuine in a real rut. And perhaps after singing the praises earlier, that is a thing that they might have to brush up on, is not letting a round like that really chew at them, because I know it might be a trend for a lot of teams, especially those that know the pedigree that Grayhound has. Like you said, they've just been in Berlin. They've been one of the heavy hitters in the scene for a long time. And a lot of people might not have expected Genuine to go as toe-to-toe as they have. So that might be playing into their psyche a little bit.
Mental fortitude definitely challenged, and especially with that overpass game. When you start to hemorrhage rounds there, they did manage to pull back in round 30. That showed a good amount of mental strength to be able to make do with what felt like almost a manifest destiny round. Malta and Dexter, though, they found a pair of kills on the A-bomb site. Will fall, Malta does. Down goes Dexter as well, so it's a 3-on-3. Bomb is planted. One player will be coming up vents, one player will be coming out of heaven, and one will be wrapping in lobby. We'll see if the terrorists are ready for that. Everyone's really watching for that lobby wrap, which could be an issue.
And APOC just put a nade right at his feet. Dick Stacy will clean up the rest. And there's the trade back from Jix. So it's definitely not home free for the side of Grayhound. It's left into a 1v2. A Skull Hunter starting as he means to go on. 3k for him. Let's have a quick look at his stat line. A 26 and 9.
Maker,
Whoa.
18 and 8. Stat, 17 and 12. Those three players are powering this Genuine engine. An absolutely baffling performance from those guys. Skull Hunter, keep in mind though, he is doing a good job being set up by teammates because he only has 100 ADR. So, you know, we're 20 rounds in. He's got 26 kills, so averaging over a kill a round. But it's not like he's like one of those guys out here with like 200 ADR. It's not like an incredibly baffling one, like where he's doing it all himself. He is getting these because his team is working so well as a unit. It's evidenced by Jinx being 7 kills, but also 7 assists. Stats got 6 assists on him. They're all setting each other up, and they're getting the job done.
Yeah, and that is what a team really strives to be. There is always the chance that one player could really stand out, but more often than not, you would want your unit to be a cohesive one, and one that basically trades off of each other and everybody helps each other out. It's essentially an ecosystem. There is a quick bomb plant. There was the reply from Malta, but Jinx will clean up a pair, and one on the rotate from radio. That was Dick Stacy. He was met by APOC. And, well, Grayhound have put this one in the doldrums, and Sicko might be wanting to put that scout to use and take out a couple of these tag players. It's in the realm of possibility, but perhaps Sicko might be thinking better of it and just wanting to move elsewhere.
And Inns, I just want to say that was a family show. Okay, that's a no-scope. Seiko, that was a no-scope. Come on, man.
He went down to the bomb's credence for that one.
So, one thing I do want to point out, I guess it is skewed to second half because I think accuracy stats will have reset at halftime. But Skull Hunter sitting at 80% headshot. in the second half. Dexter is... Don't know how many kills he's had this half, but he's sitting at 100, and Sicko's sitting at 83. So a few of these guys are, like, absolutely cracking heads. And the head cracker, Skull Hunter, is taken up by Malta. He's got a nice 2K. Traded back. Do they expect Dick Stacy on the lightning fast flank?
Sitting behind the smoke. It might not even need to succeed in that one. He was met by APOC anyway. So, bit of an awkward spot. But Sat does have the bomb on his back. And Grayhound have decided to spread out towards the lower site. Both genuine members are moving towards the ramp and might be wanting to go down below. I think there is one member of Grayhound that is there. Yeah, it's Dexter is in the office position. And there's also Sicko watching ramp. So this could be completely stifled by the likes of Grayhound. Just letting them step onto the site, and Dexter will get the cue to go, along with the rest of the cohorts from Grayhound.
Oh, and the bomb's denied. APOC on 9 HP. In all kinds of trouble. Dexter gets them both. 13-9 though, genuine. They're still only 3 rounds away from knocking Grayhound to a lower bracket final and booking a date with Chiefs in the upper bracket finals here for the Dreamhack Malmö 2019. This is their closed qualifiers. I, of course, am Graham Morrison, a.k.a. Grahamcast, joined by Cyberwaste, a.k.a. Justin Lutz, a.k.a. at I Am Cyberwaste, here for CappingTV. And we'll see how this turns out. Pressure outside, a little bit of it.
This should 9 times out of 10 be a freebie for Grayhound, but as was demonstrated a few rounds ago, you can't really bank on that because there was a 0 investment that ended up turning on its head. So anything and everything can happen. But it looks like order will stay in the favor of Grayhound. No damage exchanged as of yet, and that is the bomb dropped by Dick Stacy. So it looks like everything is as it should be. A clean round for Grayhound. They hit double digits. That's exactly what you want as a CT on this map. And perhaps Skull Hunter might be still wanting to claw towards the 30 bomb, but even more importantly, he'd be wanting to do his part to get Genuine to a 14th, 15th, and then 16th round. But the window may begin to close very soon.
He's just been so potent as the entry fragger on this team, flying around corners, getting these headshots. If he can find a couple nice entries, that might get the job done. Maddie in chat's dropping a 16-10 prediction, Cyberwaste. He thinks that Genuine can pull this off. And he thinks they can do it in relative short order. And honestly, with the way that Skull Hunter is entering sites, I might actually agree with him. I think we'll probably see a scoreline of around 16-12 when all is said and done. That's my prediction.
There's a little bit of damage done on both sides, actually. Both being claimed down. It was back and forth. Skull Hunter ended up going down. Stat will clean that up. And it is a side take for Genuine. And now, just a Molotov off Heaven, and there's the retaliations from the CTs, and Jinx could be catching this rotation, and Sicko's too wise to it. Has eliminated that member that was sitting in hut, and that has made things a lot easier for the side of Grayhound, but the door is shut and squeaky. That is a big deal. That might have eliminated that avenue of attack, and that is Dexter hitting the deck, and now it is a Sicko in a 1 versus 2, and he's starting to peel away. Would be safe to say is deemed the situation far too risky, and is wanting to hang on to that AWP, and Genuine wanting to clear the area as well. Will they actually cross paths? No, they will not.
They could have looked at each other, and I think Sicko might have caught them if he plays 16-9 on the edge of it. But if it was 4-3, he would have just missed them. May not have even been able to react to him in time. 14-10 is the scoreline. Money's not good on Genuine still, though. It's not good on Grayhound. Honestly, if Genuine win this round, it's game over. Grayhound will have nothing in the bank. They don't have a big loss bonus built up right now. They are up against the gun.
Indeed. Maybe the barrel guns are Jack 7. Just the windmill punches and just knocking them clean off the map. Now, the
Like if I math,
I
I gotta math this out.
The pause was called, and yeah, do the mathematics.
I'm mathing it out, but because this half has been so back and forth, where it's been like 2 rounds for Grayhound, 1 for Genuine, 1 for Grayhound, 2 for Genuine, like 2 for 1. Grayhound are on 1 round loss bonus. Like they are full reset here. If they lose this round, they'll have nothing. They will be getting so little in the bank. They might be getting I think it's 14 for this round. 19 maybe? That's nothing. That's not enough to buy when you have no money in the bank. So if Genuine can pull this off, this quite literally will be GG.
Not only will it be a side of their logo, it'll be an expression as well. And Greyhound will be wanting to keep this alive. And Molotov to force Sicko to go. And even after that frag, he got tagged up so heavily. But there is a big get, at least in my knowledge. It will be Skull Hunter hitting the deck. And he has been one of the standouts for Genuine. So, a really rough trot for the attackers.
A lot of damage is done to Sicko, though. Oh, but Dexter, he catches Stat in the side of the head. 2-man advantage in Greyhound. Backs against the wall. This is when they seem to thrive. Coming around the corner. Maker needs to find something. Finds one entry. Spots at the back of Sicko. Finds a second one. Brings it back down. Can he find a third, fourth, and fifth? He's in a 1v3 right now. It would be the ace, but he's going to be shut down. Greyhound, stay alive. And the money's now not good for Genuine. So they need to save here. Maybe buy a pistol or 2. But at the end of the day, they're only on like a 2-round loss bonus. This is literally coming down to the wire, Cyber Waste.
Indeed, and when it comes to the crunch times, there's usually a lot more pauses and a lot more time to sort of recenter and take that time. And I am almost certain that we will see a little bit of a stop-start sort of motion as both teams will try and figure out where they step next. And looking at Genuine's coin, it's not great. They'll be looking to perhaps invest a little bit of util and just aim to get the bomb down. And if you can get a frag with the Glock, great. But at this later stage, you're not really banking on frags. You're just banking on just blunt forcing a sight and get the bomb down. And if that works out for you, fantastic.
This pause feels a wee bit longer than just a straight tactical as well. I'm wondering if there might be an issue. One of these players.
I haven't noticed a ping change, but Genuine has made the call. It's taking a little bit of extra time. I haven't noticed any real fluctuations or anything of the sort, so perhaps really wanted to take advantage of the current situation because it is a strong one. They are close to beating a team that is held in high regard in this region and on the world stage by some.
Honestly, I am so genuinely impressed by Genuine. Some of these players are playing out of their minds. You're trying to tell me that Skull Hunter is dropping 27 and 14 against a team that literally won a map at the major. Like, they won a game. You're telling me that Stat and Maker are going to be 20 and 15 in 2011. They're going to be out-fragging all 3 of those guys the entirety of Greyhound. That doesn't happen. That shouldn't happen. This is going to be one of the bigger upsets in recent memory for Australia if it comes to fruition.
This could have a lot riding on it, just even in terms of impressions, because if memory serves, they're both in the Mountain Dew League this season, and they might actually square off. And that could be that could have a lot of bad blood in amongst it. And speaking of blood spilled, that will be stat put down and out. And while we do have a bit of a seeming lull in the action, we'll be moving towards our next set, which is on our schedule. As soon as this game is over, we'll be taking a brief break when we're finished, and then moving on to Ground Zero versus SYF. But we'll obviously let the rest of this map play out, and it looks like Grayhound trying to keep things to a minimum. Only 24 damage done, and that is to Dick Stacy. And that'll be pretty much it. Grayhound shut the gap now to 2, and the pressure is beginning to mount on both sides, but even more on Genuine, given how hard they've had to fight through all 3 of these maps, but especially through this one.
So money is terrible on Genuine. They lose this round, even with loss bonus. I think they may still have to save it to the next one. That would put us at probably about 14-14. Money's not great on Grayhound. They'll have a money winner lose, but they might be hindered on utility. And Skull Hunter, he drops down. He's found the kill on to Malta. Dexter's not there to support. He's gonna go down to stat as well. Skull Hunter did get traded out, but this is a 4-on-2. Dick Stacy coming around on the flank is caught up by APOC, and I think I hear the shot now from Sicko. He's well aware of where the last man standing is. Smoke goes down. Sicko peeks out. He's on the first shot. Swaps over to the M4. 1v3. Trying to keep his hopes and dreams alive for his team. He has everything to play for in this round. The advantage? Stats low and jinxes on a UMP. It's workable. But instead, he is just going to elect to save the AWP. He's going to concede the round. He's going to concede match point. Will this be the upset? Will Genuine pull this off? They're 1 round away.
With the bomb detonating, the counter will tick over. Yes, it does read correctly. 15 to Genuine, 12 to Grayhound. And looking at the money, we were talking about it at length a couple of times during the pauses and the number crunching. It actually looks kind of decent for Grayhound. They can put in a decent amount of work, but it's going to rely on a lot of the heavy hitters to really pull up their socks, especially Sicko, who's leading the charge at 21 and 15.
And, even if Grayhound win this round, if they bleed a lot of players, again, the money's not going to be good. They'll have a very weak buy. Both teams will. So the following round, should Grayhound win in like a 1-on-1 or a 1-on-2, like that's going to be not a great round on buy and really could go any way. You're like flipping a coin to decide a game. That's not what you want. As somehow Genuine, they've fully gotten down secret, and I'm not sure how known that is. Let's see, what positioning do we have? No one's in B. So the Genuine guys are just gonna be on B site for free. Finally, Dick Stacy's rotated around, but Maker's found the kill on to Dexter. Dick Stacy swings out, tapping away, not able to find it. He's going to fall off. Be seated. Molly down. Bomb should go down shortly. They're just using proper utility as a precaution as Sicko finds a shot onto APOC. Flashbang comes through. Will they be able to find these kills? Inns gets another onto Maker, but Jinx trades it back out. 3-on-3. Trades favoring the T side with the bomb down. Trying to find any entrance back in. Dick Stacy's going to start to walk out, but there's a cheeky little crossfire here. And he overlooks Skull Hunter. Damage is done, falls off of it. Skull Hunter and Stack get killed. Jinx falls. It's just Dick Stacy runs out of ammo and Genuine. They've done it. They knock off Grayhound, sending them to the lower bracket final and punch a date with Chiefs.
And that is how you send a message. That is GG. Well played on all sides. All 10 members have put on a blistering show. And that is how a statement is made. And commiserations to Grayhound. They put up a marvelous fight, as they always tend to do. But Genuine, they will be feeling extremely chuffed. And we will have to try and regather ourselves, much like the 10 players that were just in the server. There's 2 maps to 1 for Genuine. We shall throw to break here on CappingTV. I have been Justin Lutek, AS Subways. I've been joined by Graham Morrison. We shall return very soon.
been to many places, shared many moments, but it's time to come back to the place where it all began.
Now Lucy comes charging in. Oh my God, Justy, you've got to be kidding! He's got the ball down, Blamey. He knows where he is. What? It's got Dave. He's done from tracking.
Welcome to Malmö.